This podcast is brought to you in part by Truebill. Now, what's Truebill? Truebill is the app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions. That's right, subscriptions. You know, those free trials that convert to paid without your consent and all that other stuff. Like, oh, it's just renewed on you for a full year. And you're like, whoa, I am not in a position to give $400 to the satellite radio people, you know, like whatever subscription stuff. It's all these streaming services that you're never using anymore, right? I mean, it's like, come on, they canceled the shows that you wanted to watch anyway. Ugh. And yet somehow you're still paying for it. Truebill is an app that'll help you identify and stop paying for those subscriptions that you just don't want anymore. And on average, people can save up to $720 per year with Truebill. And Truebill has a concierge right there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions so that you don't have to. Over 2 million people have saved over $100 million with Truebill. Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at Truebill.com/bomb. Go right now. Truebill.com/bomb. It could save you thousands a year. Truebill.com/bomb. Happy birthday, Kirby!
Shit.
Hiyo!
I didn't get him anything. Oh no.
What did you get for Kirby?
Oh, and I cussed in the first minute of this video. Nuts.
What did you get for Kirby for his B-Day? Going around the room, Jess O'Brien.
I got him a big cake that looks like him, and it's the same size as him. And I don't know which one to shoot.
How is that going to work? When he eats that cake, what will he turn into?
That is why I'm tricking him into doing it. I want to find out what happens. This is a scientific experiment.
Okay, good. All right. I like birthdays where we learn something. Jeff Bacalar, what did you bring Kirby for his birthday?
A brand new fanny pack.
Oh, hell yeah. Woo. Kirby is my favorite indie wrestler, and now he can prove it with a nice fanny pack.
How would it fit on his rotund little... I feel like it would
That's
slide
his
off no matter
problem.
which... Okay.
It's squishy, right? I mean, you just put it on and just pull it tight, and he goes, "Whoop," or maybe it turns into like a weird muscle man if you give him a small waist with a thing. And
I mean, he can wear something that would eventually stop at his equator. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm just saying, like, you could fit a fan. It might be a little high. It might ride a little high on him.
Yeah.
But like, my man can wear a fanny pack.
Kirby could do like a one strapper situation. Just put it over an arm.
Shoulder.
You know? Yeah, one shoulder dealio.
Okay,
That's a nice way to wear it.
Yeah.
That's the way I prefer it.
that's not really wearing it on the fanny around that's not.
Well, most people wear it on the fronty. It should be a fronty pack. I mean, if we're really,
if it's a UK fanny pack, that's a different thing.
And you don't wear it correctly at all in the UK.
correct.
Yeah,
Straddle it in a weird way.
that's right. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. Jan Ochoa, what did you get? What did you bring for Kirby?
I got Kirby 2 tickets to see the hot movie of the summer, Morbius.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Boy-o.
He's going to eat that movie theater.
Yep.
It's gonna make him suck.
I meant to get a private screening, but it's okay. It'll just be the two of us.
That does sound nice. Maybe he'll eat you, turn into you.
Oh, man. Does that mean I watched the movie through Kirby? Or do I just stop existing?
Does everything Kirby eats become part of his collective consciousness? And are they in there? And are they happy, or are they screaming in agony for the rest of eternity, looking through Kirby's eyes?
You know the movie Spawn, when he goes through the portal and he's just screaming and screaming and screaming? I think it's like that.
Okay.
Oh.
I think of it as like the portal and being John Malkovich.
Oh.
Where you're just sort of there for a little bit. And if you get good at it and you have a history of being a puppeteer, you can learn to stay there.
So it's like Kirby consumes me and becomes me, but I am also watching through Kirby's skin, who's wearing my skin.
Right.
Okay.
And yes, I mean, I think that's the perfect analogy.
I just wanted to get the through line. Thank you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. I'm Jeff Gerstmann. I got Kirby a pistol.
Finally.
Cool.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
It's about
That's right.
time we armed Kirby.
That's right. He's 30 years old now. It's time to learn how to. It's time to learn how to respect a firearm.
Yeah. He's right.
Teaching Kirby some good trigger discipline out here.
Some safety.
I mean, he
With his
can't pull the
nubs.
trigger with the nubs anyway, so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's firing that musket in the new game.
Oh, that's true.
Pretty reliably there.
All
I
right.
think Waddle Dee like engineered a nub friendly pistol grip for him.
Who's the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Kirby verse?
Is it not Meta Knight?
Knight.
Is it Meta Knight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta
All right.
be, right? Frenemy,
Yeah.
kind of evil,
Okay.
Maybe-
kind of sexy to some.
Maybe a lover in certain, portrayals of the show.
So,
sure.
I don't.
Betrayals.
You gotta like inform me. I haven't played too many Kirby games before this new one. Is Meta Knight always like, what kind of relationship is Kirby having with Meta Knight over the years? Is it? I just like, because I don't know what Meta Knight's deal is. He's just this sort of like LARPing, medieval knight person, and I just
think
want to know his position in this universe.
It's like the
MD
greatest
and
will
the-
they, won't they, you know?
It's like a Proto Man situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
The chat was
Oh.
right about the
Yeah.
proto.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more
Okay.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say almost a Vegeta, but not quite a Vegeta. Maybe like
Aren't we all?
early Piccolo.
Okay. Like
Yeah,
early.
you can't-
So what's that? Like a 40% Vegeta.
Yeah, good
God.
old 40%.
Yeah.
I need to. You guys, like, you can't answer a question with a thing I don't know anything about. Like, you can't go
It's
another
not-
layer down and be like
Okay.
Vegeta.
Oh, okay,
you know.
okay. Here
It's
he's
kinda-
like
it's
a
here
you
we
first,
go. Here
Jess,
we
you
go.
first, Jess.
You know how like Dio and JoJo, Jonathan were like kind of pretending to be chummy
Yeah.
What it-
I know
like, when
exactly
they're-
that.
when they were playing rugby in like
Yeah.
episode fucking 2.
Great job,
It's-
friend of mine.
It's like that, but they weren't pretending. Like there was like a sort of rivalry where they respect each other, but there is like a frenemy
Okay.
situation happening.
Okay.
Yeah, or
Alright.
another anime you're probably more familiar with in Yu-Gi-Oh. He's like a Duke Devlin,
No.
Okay.
that's-
you know?
not.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
You're
Duke-
speaking.
Duke
another
Devlin, the guy with a
language.
dice that like tries to mess up Yugi's shit. That one episode, he's like, I'm gonna mess you up, buddy, but then we're actually friends now.
Can we keep translate? Can we translate this into Beyblade? Like, how do what's?
I can do that.
Yes,
I'm more familiar with
It
those.
is. It is like the guy. I think his name is Kai. He has like the weird like chin straps that might be band-aids. He seems like a bad guy because he has a cool scarf, but then he jumps
Okay.
in and is like, "Nah, dog, I'm friends with you too. I'll let it rip
Yes.
with you."
I just want to point out
Let it
that
rip.
Duke Devlin, I just found out his dad's name is Mr. Clown.
Pretty
we all-
sick.
Mr. Clown. I feel like that's a Clay Fighter character.
Mr. Clown.
I don't.
I guess he might be
His
a Bakura going back to Yugi.
Yeah. Is Mr. Clown is Mr. Clown just an unlicensed Mr. Do? Is it supposed to be Mr. Do, but they couldn't get the Mr. Do license? Do we think? Is that possible?
I'm still thinking,
Yes.
still processing Bakura as Meta Knight, as Shadow, as who are we talking about anymore?
Proto Man.
Mr. Do's that creepy clown, right?
I'm stuck on Mr. Clown also.
There's nothing creepy about Mr. Do. He just happens to be a clown. He's the last non-creepy clown.
The
That's
last
Mr.
non-
Do.
Okay.
The last
Woof.
non-creepy
We have-
clown.
Alive?
We have fallen into the sunken place with this.
All right. That's
I
Mr.
was-
Do is versatile. He can live in the dirt, but also he has a castle
Okay.
that is overrun by
can
monsters.
live in the
and
dirt?
Yeah, he can dig around in the dirt and throw his power balls around. But sometimes the monsters come up into his castle above ground, and he's got to attack them there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Do can do anything.
It's not like his name's Mr. Don't.
Exactly.
True. It's true. He's got that positive nomenclature baked in.
That's right. He is ready to go. He is the Kirby of his era.
I feel safe saying that.
Okay.
Truly a Kirby of his time.
Truly. The Kirby of the 80s. Mr. Do. We talk about some video games.
I would love to.
Have we not already been?
That's Mr. Do is technically a slot machine character.
For real?
No, well, I mean, yes, there is a Mr. Do slot machine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there are some in the United States which I found really crazy, and I didn't even know this thing existed until it showed up in the background of there's a casino themed AEW pay-per-view that they do every year.
Yes.
I guess they kind of have more of some various casino, but and they have like slot machines behind the announcers, and one of them was a Mr. Do machine, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's a Mr. Do slot machine. The thing is it's not new. On top of that, it's not new. After doing some research, I discovered that there was a recreation of the Mr. Do slot machine contained on a PlayStation 2 compilation of slot machines. So
I don't know if the hole, like we're digging deeper, it's just a different hole at this point.
Yeah. So I've played the Mr. Do machine just on an emulated PlayStation 2, not in real life. So that's how I spend my days.
Okay.
Unlike you, Jan, who spends your days playing Luck Be A Landlord.
Oh, no.
Speaking of slot machines, I played a little bit of this some time ago. I think it's been in early access for a bit.
Yes. It's been in early access for quite a while. It's kind of gaining some traction right now. And I hate that it got put onto my radar. A kind community member said, hey, I think you like this. It reminds me of Super Auto Pets.
Kind.
What an evil thing to do.
The word kind is doing a lot of work here in the sentence.
Yeah, it's funny because I played some of this a while back, and I barely remember anything about it other than going like, I don't see what the appeal is here. I'm not even really 100% sure what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of like spinning these reels and getting stuff, and okay, whatever, and moved on. It just didn't.
But Jan is built different.
Yeah,
yeah. My brain unfortunately was wired a different way. For folks that don't know what Luck Be A Landlord is, I suggest you just black out for the next however many minutes I'm talking, because I also don't want you to fall down this hole with me. I know misery loves company, but in this case, it's a slot machine game where you pay rent by not actually doing any work. You just play the slots. And with each turn that you spin, you get the option to add a new symbol to your slot machine. And I believe it's like the slot machine has about 20 symbols on it each time you're rolling it. And those different symbols synergize with each other and might have different effects that trigger other effects that get you more gold per turn. So each cycle of rent that you're going through, the increment of gold you got to pay goes up. So it starts at 25, goes to 50, 100, 150, 200, et cetera, et cetera. But they give you a couple more turns to make up that money as you're going along. And after each successful round of paying rent, you get an item. And that item also affects whether it's your passive income going on or it'll affect your active symbols that you got going on. So you could roll do an occultist build, right? Or you could do the odd that it never really works, the ninja mouse build, because if you have more than one ninja, they negatively affect each other. But if you got them going on with a mice, then it's good. But then you could also roll with a very volatile baby bubble build, which
baby bubble build.
Yeah, the baby bubble build, because once they
baby bubble build.
Because once the baby pops the bubbles, they get more gold, and then once the bubbles are destroyed, they also get gold. I'm purposely not trying to make this sound complicated. These are actual strategies.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
It's a landlord game?
Yeah. So, just like in Super Auto Pets or an Auto Chess, there is a strategy to how you are putting what you are choosing the symbols, right, to put onto your field. And because some of them will have a negative response or they won't pay off until much later in the game. There's an unfinished right now on the website where Rory and we specifically choose the coal tile, and the coal tile doesn't yield anything until 20 turns. So you got to bank on like you're going to have a coal tile where it's going to give you 0 gold for 20 turns. Yo, once turn 20 rolls, you'll get a diamond, and then that diamond gives you 5 gold. And then, you know, there's other symbols where it's like, yo, cool, you got diamonds and other gems. I love this shit. I'm going to make everything pay off double. So you can quickly get away and like each turn will start giving you more and more gold. But it's all about the risk. It's all about the risk management here. And
just like real landlording.
Just like real landlording.
Just like real gambling.
Yeah, and I hate that it's feeding into those two parts of my brains where it's like, well, I could just spend more and just potentially get more gold, or I could do the prudent thing and stop. But also, it does play into the strategy aspect of like, all right, I really have the intent to roll and try and do this a dice gambler build, but because of luck of the draw, the symbols I'm getting, and on top of that, the items I'm getting, that's not going to be feasible. I have to suddenly pivot to do all bees and bears. And then, oh, snap, I got the honey bear, or I got the upgraded bear, so now my bear tech is wild and off the charts. And then, like, some of the other items will really adjust the flow of things, because you could go and acquire a bunch of dogs, and then the dogs really play well with humans, and, like, they'll give you bonus gold.
Man's best friend.
Man's best friend.
Yeah. That's just sensible.
The wolf also, the dog also works with dwarves and babies, if anyone was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get an item, though, that will change all of your dogs into wolves, and that'll get you more gold. But then suddenly, if you have a board full of people and dogs, and the dogs have become wolves, there's no extra bonus now for all those people. So, you know, out of luck.
I can't believe what you just said.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like you being 80 years old and getting rolled into the old folks' home, and your grandchild is wheeling you in and saying like, "That's nice, Grandpa Jan," and you're just going on and on exactly like this.
I got the robe, right? I'm halfway there.
Please just play your landlord game, Grandpa Jan.
My occultist deck.
Did you turn the dogs into wolves yet?
Turn the dogs into wolves.
The double
and
baby
I said,
double
I'm
build.
going to fix wolves. Me.
Enjoy the voices in your head, Grandpa.
I swear they're not voices. They're here. They're here, Sonny.
You are helpless against this type of game, my
I know.
friend.
This is
It is up to the community to never suggest this type of game to you again if they know any kindness in their heart.
Yeah. We've entered an enabler sort of relationship here now, where
Jan, this is an intervention.
I'm
Jan,
terrified.
are you sitting?
We're
all your friends are here.
We're planning on going to Vegas sometime in the summer, right? And
don't do that.
And like, you know, the whole idea is, oh, let's enjoy some shows and food. And then in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, all right, she's eventually going to go to sleep. Then I could sneak down and go play some blackjack.
Mr. Do slot machine.
I could find the Mr. Do slot machine.
Dude, you should go same time as I'm going so I can ditch the bachelorette party. I'm going to.
No, Jess, you have to participate.
They've got Vegeta blackjack.
No, Jess, what I'm doing, I must do alone.
Yeah, you remind me for reasons unknown. My parents used to take my brother and I down to Atlantic City. Like, not when we were super young, but like in our teens-ish. So like enough to know what's going on, old enough to know what's going on, but young enough to really have some fun. The only good thing we ever did was when they took us to see George Carlin before we were 21. We saw him perform that season.
Wow.
But that aside, my brother and I, John, would stay up super late. My mom would fall asleep, and we'd just watch, like Die Hard or some shit, and we'd hear the hotel door opening and closing at all hours. We knew that my dad would just go down and play video poker, or like, he loved video poker, and he loved fucking 3-card poker.
Ugh, 3-card
table
poker.
Game.
God.
Yeah.
That was the last serious gambling I did was like I was 3-card poker. This is a very long time ago, but like we got to the hotel and said, let's play some 3-card poker. And I immediately lost all of the money I intended to bring with me for gambling purposes in like 40 minutes. And then the next day, won it all back.
Oh, wow.
And then some, enough to pay for the entire trip, and said, I'm never going to gamble again. And then have stuck pretty much to that.
But that is like a pretty, I don't want to say standard storyline for like
three-card poker's it's pretty standard Vegas.
Like I've heard that
where I said like I'm done and actually stuck to it.
But how many times have you like I've heard that story before where people are just like, I don't know, I played blackjack and an entire shoe I lost $1,200 and then I won $5,000 the next one. You're like, cool, well that seems just like the way it kind of goes in Atlantic City.
That seems stressful to me, not exciting.
Look, you got to set boundaries for yourself.
I have an anxiety problem. I don't see this being enjoyable.
Sure, it's like probably not for you.
Was me going beyond the boundary I set, because I set that boundary and immediately it was gone. I was like, well, I can't just. I mean, we fucked up and booked this room for a week. So
a week.
My roommate was, let's say, romantically involved with a flight attendant who was based out of Vegas, and I had just gotten out of a relationship. So I had nothing going on. And so he just said, come with me to Vegas for a week. I'm like, that's sure. And yeah, it was a horrible fucking time.
I do kind of enjoy, I like casinos just because it's such a ripe for the picking, character like pull, like all the different types of seedy individuals you come across
like
in a casino.
People watching is great there.
It's inspirational for all the sort of like pits it has. I just enjoy watching people do completely irresponsible and outrageous shit. To me, that's the best draw of a casino, when you see someone who's just like, well, I lost 3 red and black roulette bets. This next one, I'm gonna make all that money back in one spin. It's just all that stuff.
Just keep chasing it. That was
kind of great.
So THQ, when they were a company, they had an event in Las Vegas. They put everybody up at the MGM Grand to see some games. They had a motocross game, and there was a motocross event happening at the MGM. And so they took everybody out there to watch the motocross event. They gave everybody an envelope when they checked in that was like, here's details on the event. And in the envelope was a $100 chip, which is like, there you go. You want money. They gave, here's $100, they said. And pretty so it's like, yeah, pretty fucked up. Like, here's your ethics test. Here you go. What are you going to do about it? Wow. And I feel like a significant percentage of the people that I talked to about the chip were like, I am definitely going to gamble this away or see what I can do. And then someone was like, well, okay, if I go throw it all on red and then I double it, I keep the proceeds, I give them back the chip and say, I can't take this.
That's what I would have done.
Oh, that kind of reasoning.
I gave them the chip back and said, come on now. What the fuck are you doing?
That's amazing.
Get this out of my fucking face.
And it reminds me of the anime Kaiji, which is all about gambling on a boat.
Is that the one, the teaching, where it's like gambling school? Is that one, or is that a different one?
I think that's a different one, but it's high stakes gambling on a boat, and it's kind of like a Squid Game, I guess.
Oh, maritime
lots of down and outs, getting tricked into doing something very irresponsible, and they might get killed if they're even more poor. I don't know, but it's all about strategizing, being like, we're gonna pool some of our chips and do this, and like the first game is fucking rock paper scissors, but stupider. Like
Mm-hmm.
All that being said, Luck Be A Landlord, pretty fun.
Great for all those casino pervs out there.
It's $10 on Steam, and there's a free demo if you need a taste.
First taste is always free, isn't it? Always.
Yeah. My one knock against the game is that I wish there was an option to change the font in the game, because readability is kind of an issue. Where at first I was initially thrown off because it's all done in like the pixely video game font, and it was just hard to read.
Yeah,
I should have just gotten out then.
Yeah, they gave you the opportunity right there just to walk away. But
in fact, that's what the demo is. It's a chance to walk away.
Yeah.
Or
is it?
It is, I believe, one person making the game, and they are actively updating it. There's a countdown timer of
a casino.
Oh no. Of when new.
They are like, hey, you got pretty good at this. What if we put a little money on it next time?
Yeah, what if we comp breakfast tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh
You
man,
want to go to the noodle bar with me?
Continental though.
I saw.
Yeah,
eggs.
come on. It's not.
I saw a
Not the
crane
buffet.
game over the weekend, and I was very tempted. I chose to
you know,
abstain.
It's like
I walked away.
My grandmother was obsessed with the
you.
crane game, and like you guys sound alike. Not that it's
I'm
bad.
glad that I can remind people of their grandmothers.
Totally, it's actually really refreshing and sweet.
It's
Like
the
she was
road.
obsessed with crane games, and she would just play them like for hours and hours. And I'd be like, "Grandma, we gotta go. It's almost dinner time." She'd be like, "One more, Grandma. It's really late. They're gonna close." All right, hold on. Like,
Did she get better at it? Or was she good at it?
I don't think feel like she was so advanced in age that she couldn't really discern like, oh, this claw's got like a tight grip, like this one, you know. I feel like she didn't know what was at play there.
Mhm.
We kind of just gave her a roll of quarters and just pushed her in the direction of one.
Yeah.
But you know, look, like it made her smile, so that's all. That's worth it.
Making me
That was
smile.
something when Seth Killian mentioned it to me the first time, I think, but it was like talking about like fighting game players and the mentality of fighting game players. And this was maybe a little bit, you know, this was not the esports sponsor friendly world of fighting games that I think we have now. It was a little more raw, but he was like, yeah, like anything where there's an edge, fighting game players are going to be there to try and exploit it. Like, you know, like all these fighting game players are, you know, a lot of them are like gamblers, and they all know exactly how to exploit the crane games and all this other stuff. It was just like it made the world sound much more seedy and exciting than it seems today. But I don't know, maybe that's probably for the best in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah, the thing with crane games now is like they've gotten smart where they're just like, what's better, you know, letting people try to get the expensive item twice, realizing this game's fucking rigged, and just walk away, or just like guarantee them the cheap thing and know that they'll pay the $3 for the 10-cent thing. Yeah, but it's a weird weird relationship.
Yeah,
The evolution the crane game's gone through.
Yeah, it's less about picking things up. It's more about nudging things with the arms.
Oh, it's all about the nudge game is so strong. We're not picking stuff anymore. We're nudging and dropping.
That's the meta. It's not about picking things up with the crane.
With pinball, it's all about that nudging.
I'd love to nudge, live to nudge.
I'm all about the nudge.
I'm nudging right now. Jan, you also played Endcycle Versus.
Endcycle Versus. This week that wins the award for game that doesn't sound like a game. Endcycle Versus
sounds like a drink. It sounds like, yes, I need my electrolytes back. Give me that Endcycle Versus.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those powder packs you rip open and toss into your water. Endcycle
Jess,
Versus.
212. What does it sound like?
What? Huh?
What does Endcycle Versus sound like?
It sounds like a bad motorcycle company, or like a toy.
Okay.
Like a toy of a motorcycle that like will break after you like take it out of the box.
It sounds like an extra cable channel you didn't pay for.
Okay. It's none of those things.
Endcycle Versus is senior citizens competing in deadly sports.
God, I would watch that. I would watch that.
Shit.
I mean, okay. Only if you promise me none of them have grandchildren, because then I'll be sad.
Aww.
No, they're out in the crowd rooting for them. The camera cuts to them all the time.
Come on, win or lose. I mean, whatever the inheritance, either you win prize money or we get the inheritance. There's no losers here.
Call your grandparents if they're still around. Tell them you love them. Anyway, Endcycle Versus is another game going for chasing the high that is Mega Man Battle Network. So it is a similar game where you have a grid of 9 tiles to move around, and you are fighting you are fighting
Fighting
people,
an Endcycle.
God. You're fighting people on the opposite side that also have a tile set of 6, and then you have a chipset, but unlike Battle Network or recently chipset, unlike One Step from Eden, where you are just rapidly cycling through all of your inventory and shooting, here you have 3 sets of chips or spells, noises, or VOCs as they're called here, and they're all mapped to different face buttons. So you can change to a more offensive set where this is nothing but attacks, another one that is just all healing stuff. There's a lot of area control going on in the game where there's actually a neutral ground where both different sides can come onto, and then you can grab those tiles to play with a field where your opponent has less space to move around. The odd thing that's going on here, though, is there's a turn button where you can turn to the other side, which is unheard of in Battle Network games.
What end?
So sometimes a boss you'll be sandwiched and you'll be fighting opponents on both sides.
Okay.
So you have to worry about the folks on your right side and also on the left side. And sometimes the healing items you use aren't just like an instant heal. You'll throw it a couple squares in front of you. So sometimes you want to like move all the way to the edge of your playfield zone, turn around, throw it off, and then so you can safely grab it. The neat thing is they have a couple modes here where there's just straight up a battle mode where you can go against AI, set AI to go against each other or go against other players. There's a quick story mode where it is kind of done in the Slay the Spire format where there's a branching trees and everything where you can either choose to go to like a shop, a battle encounter, or a random encounter. And in the random encounters, you can occasionally pick up an AI teammate. There's friendly fire in the game as well. So if you pick up a friendly teammate or you're fighting against like two human units against the AI, they can actually hit each other and kill each other. I really want to like this game because it's following the Mega Man Battle Network format. That's one of my like favorite series. But I think the thing that I'm getting lost on, and this happened with One Step from Eden as well, is that it all gets very, very chaotic, and I kind of miss the pausing function that happens in Battle Network because, you're in Battle Network, you choose up to 4 or 5 chips, and those synergize with each other, have the option to synergize with each other, and then you're picking and choosing your moment to use those chips and spells, and then your meter's going back up to eventually when you can pause everything again. In One Step from Eden, it's like super spastic. You need to go, 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 go. And then it's the same thing with Endcycle Versus, where I just wish there was a pause function because sometimes it is just so hard to see what's going on screen because some of the spells aren't really, the enemy spells or the enemy attacks aren't really projected well. And like they're moving so fast, I'm moving so fast. And then with the added function of being able to turn around, and it sounds like a joke, but like in Battle Network, you're pretty much just focused on having to look the one way, that having to look the other way now. It's like, oh, geez. It's a lot to it's a lot to juggle. I appreciate that there is kind of a fleshed out story there, and the different system of chips and spells balancing that on like the face buttons and having those roll up as 3 different sets is neat. I just wish I could pause, man.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah. That was. I only really played the first Battle Network, or maybe the first 2, and was like, this is really cool. But then once they got to like, well, we're gonna put 2 of these out because Pokemon is popular, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And it's. I really liked those games, but I think I really liked them for the story and the gameplay and the combat and stuff. Like, it was just interesting, the idea of just like, here's this cyberspace Mega Man, and I'm going inside of my toaster because it's got viruses or whatever it was. And yeah, I don't know. It was always just such an awesome idea. But yeah, the ability to be able to take a minute and just go like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Is very necessary in those games. The idea that it just keeps rolling just sounds overwhelming.
Yeah, and I guess I'm also, maybe this is probably a me problem over anything, but sometimes the recharge of the spells isn't as easily readable because you're so focused on your playing grid that sometimes like when your spells aren't properly highlighted that like they're okay to use, I've just been caught fumbling of like, wait, why isn't this firing off? Why isn't this firing off? and then it doesn't quite reset to neutral. So sometimes I'll be caught using a different set of spells because that was the different like the healing set, and I just wasted a couple heals versus just firing off a couple attacks. It's fun, but it's a similar thing to One Step from Eden, where I just wish there was a pause.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's no gambling in this, as far as I know.
Can you play against other humans?
Yes, you can.
Then there's gambling in it, baby.
Oh man,
you gotta start doing Endcycle versus money matches.
You've learned. Now you're hiding your problem.
And I don't know. It's cool because they actively highlight when there are other active users online, and it's much easier to get a match going with a physical person there versus the backwards way to do it in the Mega Man Battle Network competitive scene, because of course that's a thing.
Right.
Where you'd have to like go download Hamachi and then get someone to send you their IP.
You got to like go out and you have to install a flagpole in your front yard, and you put the Mega Man Battle Network flag up, and then someone in the tower in the next town sees it and they go, "Oh shit!" and they turn on their.
You got to jack in.
Yes, and then they're like,
pull
"Okay,
your
we need
Ethernet cords out.
Fake a local network connection here." I did that with PSP stuff for a while, like back years ago, of like using like it wasn't Hamachi at the time, but it was X-Link Kai or whatever it was, and like trying to play LAN games of Twisted Metal over the internet, and it was just fucking terrible. But yeah, that's a lot of hoops to jump through. Those are hoops that I am thinking about jumping through again, because I have been playing Unreal Championship 2.
Well,
whoa!
This is an original Xbox game. And it has never been re-released anywhere else until it came to backwards compatibility, so you can play it on a current Xbox. And I have been, I must have missed this. I don't know if this was in the last drop of backwards compatibility games or what, but I somehow missed that was a thing, and so I bought it last night for $10. I also, if you go onto archive.org, apparently, so that game never got released on any other platform.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a PC build out there floating around. Apparently, they were thinking about bringing it to PC and canceled it at some point. And so that's out there, and someone has hacked a DLL file for that apparently will let you get to play it with other humans in some way. I assume it's a similar thing of like tunneling a LAN across the internet or something fucking weird like that, but whatever it is, I found that last night, and then in the process of researching it, realized that it was available on the Xbox. I was like, oh shit, I should just buy it. But when you go to Xbox Live on that version of the game, it actually just throws a pop-up that says, hey, no, like Xbox Live features are not supported in this game anymore. I was like, okay, that's fair. So anyway, this game is a third-person Unreal game with like a melee option, and so you basically go into combat. You pick two weapons from kind of the Unreal pantheon of rocket launchers and slime guns and shock rifles and all this shit. You kind of get two of those as part of your loadout, and then it has weird double-ended staff combat that you kind of whip around and do all this other stuff. So you pull out into a third-person view. You can go into first person while you're shooting, and then it just looks like any other Unreal game. But when you pull out the staff, it goes into third person, and you start whipping it around and fucking clocking people. And you do 2v2. You know, like it's kind of Unreal style modes and maps and stuff at that point, but with a smaller player count because it was a console-only game at the time. And Raiden is in it. You can unlock Raiden because Midway was publishing Unreal games at that point.
I don't know why I thought Metal Gear Raiden.
No, not Metal Gear Raiden. Because he had a sword. He's more of a melee-focused dude, I guess. Well, I guess Raiden's pretty melee-focused.
Raiden.
Yeah, that's Raiden. Totally different guy.
Completely different.
Totally different. Totally fucking different. And it was just so cool at the time, especially when, you just didn't really see you didn't see very many competitive shooters with online support on consoles at that time anyway. And so this one just had a very unique feel to it with the melee stuff. It had fatalities of a sort, where if there was a way to freeze a guy, where if you hit him with the melee, you'd stun him, and if you locked onto him while he was stunned, a little carrot string would pop up, and you could punch it in really fast in the middle of a fight to, I don't know, blow him up or do whatever it is. And so this game was super fucking cool back when it came out. Not perfect, it's kind of funky around the edges, but like just a really neat idea. And so it's nice to be able to play it again on a modern console. And I grabbed this PC build. It's like 4.5 gigs, and I have not tried it yet, but I want to see how far along it is. It sounds like it's pretty rough, but there are videos online of people playing it on the goddamn internet, and I just want to play that game on the goddamn internet because that sounds ridiculous.
Sounds like a real Leandry conflict, am I right?
Yeah, the most Leandry of conflicts, we all know. Jess, you can't really talk about it, but Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You've got some things to say about that in the near future.
Tomorrow. I'm very excited to talk about it because I can't right now.
Yeah. I want to play that game a lot. Just the idea of doing a re-release of Stanley Parable is such a fucking weird idea that I really want to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it's a weird idea. And I can't talk about it, and I hate that I can't talk about it.
Right.
Something coming soon, though.
Yes, coming soon.
I'll just say I love Kevin Brighting as the narrator. I adore him. Just he's so good. I have a crush on his voice. He's just the best sounding guy ever.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I'm that's out this week too, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm gonna play that damn game. That's it for video games. They're over.
We're done with them now.
Yeah.
Your time has come to an end.
That's right.
Good run.
Good run for video games, I'd say. You know? Donkey Kong. That was a good one.
I mean, if you guys want to let me talk about Luck Be A Landlord more, I can go on for another hour.
No, you're good.
No, you sure?
No, you're good.
We could talk about like the hexes and like the urns that you can break and like the hooligans,
No, you're fine.
Okay. All right.
Maybe next week we'll get into it. I don't know. Why don't we we'll table that for now.
So I've been playing a little bit of Tunic. I was away and I brought my Steamdeck.
Yeah.
Tunic talk.
Tunic works on the Steamdeck.
Like, yeah, it does.
And I had a very hard time beating the cathedral boss.
Mm-hmm.
That flying, idiot on the roof there.
Yeah.
And could not best that boss sitting right here playing on my monitor with an Xbox controller. The first time I tried on the Steam Deck, I beat him.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Explain that to me.
Well, so I did the same. I had a similar experience in that I lost a couple of fights to that guy and said, okay, I should probably go to bed, and then woke up the next day and beat him like first or second try.
What is that?
Maybe because you were fresh.
Yeah. It's just you fresh.
Because I definitely always have that thing where like there's a puzzle and I can't figure it out. You go to bed, you wake up, you play. You're like, oh, I was staring at me the whole time. But this is different, right? This is like fighting a boss, and it's on a different platform. Like I was using a different set of controls that are arguably inferior to an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
I think that also the difficulty of that fight probably also depends on when you do it. That was the first of the 3 keys I got. That was the first boss fight I took on.
It was my last.
Okay, so so you would have more items and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like there was stuff that I just didn't even have at that point. People were like, oh, it'd be easier if you went and got this. I'm like, yeah, I bet it would, but whatever. I'm here now, and I think I can do this. And then eventually I did. That game's fucking good. Oh,
The game's fucking good. I feel like the strategy I used is almost a little bit of like brute force, but it worked.
Yeah.
And no, the strategy was not turn on the God mode.
It's so much easier to turn on the Steam Deck, it turns out.
Yeah. I just I got that perk where it turns your potions into mana refills.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just shotgun that fool to death.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. See, I didn't have the gun at that point, so
yeah,
it was more like I gotta wait for him to come in. I got the single shot little thing,
Right.
so I can kind of pick at him at range. But yeah, I was mostly just like wait for him to come in and then wail on him and hope for the best, and eventually it paid off. But
hell yeah.
yeah,
real quick. I just wanted to talk about Pokemon Go because this last weekend there was a community event, and then
real quick, I'm sure it'll be real quick.
It's just like
Pokemon's always real quick.
Based off of how my brain operates, and that, like, you know, I enjoy the gambling aspect. I feel like there's plenty gambling, pseudo gambling aspects to Pokemon Go where it's like it's a huge carrot on a stick type of deal. Mm-hmm. The only ever time I log back in and play is when there is a community day, and I log back into the game. There's all these quests, there's all these things that they've added, and just none of it is appealing to me at all, despite liking Pokemon a bunch, as we all know. Like the game aspect of it, I just feel there's something missing in it, and I feel like there are so many people that play Pokemon Go, you know, my partner included, that I just don't know why it's not clicking with me and what aspect of it, despite everything on paper ticking off all the boxes.
Well, how many hours do you think you've put into Pokemon Go?
An ungodly amount, you know.
Maybe you're just fatigued.
Well, but just be done with it.
Maybe you've had enough.
Perhaps, because you know it's one of those things where you can just log on and like catch a couple Pokemon and then like log out. But then I guess because I've been stuck at level 34, 35 for what feels like 3 years now, and I'm not seeing any like good progress happening despite playing for X amount of time now. And even my partner, she's been on like level 41. She just got to 41 and she's been playing more regularly than I do. It just feels like you would have to dump so much more money into it to actually get results faster. And I think that stuff is just bumming me out that I think it's happening here.
It makes sense because, like, you know, you say you can log on, catch a couple of Pokemon and log out, but like you have those already. Like, is there any excitement to just like catching a Pokemon walking around at this point? Because you look at it and go like, oh, it's another one of the fucking these. Like, what are the odds that it's going to be something that's at all interesting to you?
Very, very low. Because when they do release a new Pokemon, generally, in my experience playing, and here in San Francisco, it's a very, you know, there's a bunch of hot spots here where people are still actively playing, and you'll see people or people spoofing the game. You'll find the new Pokemon, and then it'll disappear, and you'll never see it again. And like, it's just like these spawn rates are just so sporadic. I just don't understand why that's the case. And, you know, part of the allure for playing Pokemon, any of the console games or mobile handheld games, is shiny hunting, right? Looking for a shiny variation of a Pokemon. And it's just so weird because sometimes shiny variations of specific Pokemon will be available and sometimes they won't be. And none of that is really communicated across unless you are like super duper heavy following like any subreddits or discords where people are exposing and digging into the game of like, hey, this thing's available now. This is what you got to go look for. And it just, I don't know. It bums me out. And like, I enjoy Pokemon that I wish I would enjoy this game more, but maybe it's just not for me.
That was sort of the thing that pushed me away from it out of the gate, was just like, I don't know what I'm doing with these Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I already have these Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm catching new ones. It's just like, oh, my phone's vibrating because I can catch another Pokemon or whatever. And like, you open it up and like, oh, well, fucking, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I played some Pikmin Bloom for a while, which is the Pikmin walking game they did. And it was the same type deal of just like, okay, I pushed this button and the Pikmin wandered off for 8 hours and they came back with some seeds. And now when I walk, I can plant flowers. And if enough people plant flowers in a spot, the big flower grows. And like, nothing about it was fun or engaging or felt like I was like getting value out of the real world. Like the park nearby had a big flower going for a little bit because other people were playing the game. And so I would walk around the park because I was walking around the park anyway, doing stroller walks and whatever with the kids. And it was just like, this sucks. Like, there's nothing engaging about this in any way. Like, I'm not learning, I'm not gaining. anything. Doesn't even seem like there's a number. Like, yeah, I guess I'm gaining levels, and like now you can have more Pikmin. I'm like, why do I want more? None of it just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just seemed fucking pointless in a way that I like Pokemon Go at least had like the roots of Pokemon in it.
Sure.
And some of the gym battles or whatever, some of the raid stuff that they eventually put into that, like those ingress routes.
Yeah.
That Niantic had in Pokemon Go a little bit, I guess, but Pikmin seems even more. I deleted Pikmin. I was just like, I
think like maybe the problem here is the lack of stakes. Like there's not much to
Sure.
lose, and that makes the things that you gain feel like it's not like important or earned, and there's no sense of risk.
And there's no variety in what you're earning. You know, it's not like you're like, oh, look at this amazing thing I got because I'm really good at this. It was just like, oh, I left the app running, and then it said that I got more of this.
It's
like
a passive. It's a passive gameplay experience. You're not like doing anything particularly, active during it, except just walking somewhere and flicking and hoping you catch a Pokemon or planting seeds or whatever. And Jan, I wonder if like because you're not. I assume because you haven't talked about it, you're not into battling so much for domination of hotspots that removes a risk reward factor for you.
Yeah, that's part of it because like the battling aspect is not is not the Pokemon battling aspect I go to the series for you because you are just rapidly tapping away. Sure.
Yeah. Like that was one of the reasons I bounced off it immediately. I was like, oh, the Pokemon battles aren't Pokemon battles. What are we doing here?
Yeah. And I feel like Niantic is trying to ride a line of like wanting to make a game to appeal to the hardcore audience, but also still trying to get the more casual folks in. Mm-hmm. And Pikmin and then the Harry Potter game that they had for a while, odd examples of trying to add too many systems to it. And I feel like still with Pokemon, I feel like there's one thing that they could maybe do to hook me back in, but I just don't know what it is. And because Jess, I think you nailed it where there's like no consequences because I have so many legendary Pokemon at this point and none of them matter.
Like what's the point, right? Like the consequence in like the games is like there's only one of these legendary Pokemon of this type in this game, and if you fuck up getting it, it's gone forever. Like that's the risk. Yeah, and, like you're going to reload every time so that you get the fucking Moltres, but it's like you can't reload Pokemon Go. Yeah, so they're going to have multiples of them, multiple events where you can get them if you've messed up.
Ways where you can pay them money to mess up a little less, like that sort of stuff. Do you think that you would have fun spoofing? Like if you were, like, would that be like a thrill for you to just go like, let's fucking go wild? And now I'm in Brazil getting these Pokemon, and now I'm over here getting these ones. And
because there are regional Pokemon and everything that you can only get in certain places, and even then, I don't think it really appealed to me. I don't want to yuck anyone's yums because there's a bunch of folks that are still super hardcore in it. I just don't enjoy
those people. They're no.
I just don't enjoy that. Like to get
stand.
Just to like, if I want to actually grow in this game, I would definitely have to throw in, I don't want to say obscene amounts of money, but like a good chunk of change. And I feel like I'm fine doing that in free to play games for the most part. Like in Genshin Impact, I was fine doing it because there was so much there. I think because maybe I've had enough of these systems that haven't really progressed that I don't feel inclined to throw more money into it because I've already thrown a bunch already. Maybe they just need to add a slot machine.
Yeah, that would do it. Maybe if they just like, oh, by the way, we added Pokemon Auto Chess into this, and now you can go and do that. I'm spoofing my location for YouTube TV.
Oh.
Because I'm on a family account and it's like, you're not where your family is. What's going on? And so I had to be like, oh, okay. And Windows just has a Maps app that lets you set a default location, like by default. Like hey, if we can't detect your actual location with GPS or whatever, where are you? You just say, oh, I'm definitely here. And that's all it took. And it got me thinking about like, oh, I should install Pokemon Go into the Android stuff built into Windows 11 and see what happens. Because it'll pull that. I think you can set the Android stuff to pull that location, and you can just set that location to wherever. And I was like, man, I wonder, surely they must be checking for that. And what if I got banned? I'm like, oh, well, I don't care if I get banned from a fucking, I don't know, my fucking burner Pokemon Go account or whatever. But,
last thing I swear about Pokemon Go, it is so interesting.
What I tell you? I told you.
It's just very interesting to see people that have maxed out and reached the level cap. Before it was at 40, now it's at 50. It's just so interesting to see them have multiple new accounts. And like, that's not just one burner. It is like, I have seen people pull out like 4 different phones or different tablets because they're chasing that high of when they were originally playing and like progressing. And like, they will also dump in more money and separate funds into those separate accounts. It's wild.
Do you think? I guess if they're all hooked up to real accounts that they can put money into, I guess you go buy gift cards or whatever to put the money in. But I was going to say, do you think some of those people are maxing out accounts and selling them?
That's 100% possible. Because if you go to eBay, you can find like maxed out, like full shinies, caught all legendaries, perfect IV for Pokemon accounts out there.
I was scrolling through TikTok, as I'm prone to do, and saw someone, like, it was just a short video of someone surrounded by monitors all running Call of Duty. And like, it looked like they were just like, I don't know, like it didn't look like humans were playing any of them, but it was like they were in these matches. It looked like they were maybe trying to just like unlock as many skins as possible and level up the accounts so they can sell max level accounts, because people get banned out of Warzone for cheating and they're like, well, I don't have my gun skins anymore. And so they want to go buy an account that has all that shit.
And do you think Niantic calls the users that spend a lot of money in the game whale lords?
No, but there's at least one person that does. There's at least one person.
Okay.
Me.
All right. Well, now we have to stop.
Thank you. I cede the rest of my time. I think I've gone over my time.
We're going to take a break.
Gone 40 minutes over. Sorry.
We'll come back. We'll get into the news and talk about that stuff. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Bye. Let's talk about your butthole, finally. Man, I've been trying to have this conversation for a long time. It's time to clean it in a new and exciting way. That's right. All that dry, scratchy toilet paper, come on. We need a serious refresh on what we're doing with our asses. And it's time to put your cleanest booty forward and start washing with Hello Tushy. That's right. The Tushy is a bidet. You've heard of these. They're fancy. Ooh la la. I've got a bidet. This is a bidet you can throw onto your toilet in less than 8 minutes. You don't need an electrician or a plumber to make it happen. It is a seat that installs all this other stuff, and it will spritz up some fresh water onto the blast zone, the affected area, if you will, to get a lot of this stuff off, you know? And then you can kind of just pat dry with toilet paper at the end. You don't have to go in there and it's not like you're drilling, just, you know, you're not, they're excavating, getting all, what's the right way to put this? It's filthy, the poop. You'd want to get a bunch of it off before you have to put your hand in the zone. And if you can just blast a bunch of it off with some water and then spend more of your time just kind of getting the water out of the zone instead of everything else, you know, you're not smearing stuff around all over the place and all this other stuff. It's a cleaner way to live when you poop. A cleaner way to poop. And the Hello Tushy bidet is ready for you. Smearing it around with the toilet paper, that is so 2 centuries ago. You know what I mean? Step into the 21st century. Upgrade your bathroom routine. Make it happen. People are going to space. People are driving electric cars. And yet here a lot of us are just using toilet paper. You might as well get sticks and rocks at that point, huh? Get a water get blasted out. Get blasted out real nice. And feel fresh for the first time in your life with Hello Tushy. Make the restroom your best room and make your next move your best move by picking up the complete Tushy system, including the Tushy bidet attachment, ottoman, and toilet brush. Hello Tushy has cleaned over 1 million asses. That'll put the butts in the seats, the toilet seats. Take care of your business the cleaner way. All of you out there right now could benefit from a cleaner ass. Visit hellotushy.com/bombcast to get 10% off plus free shipping right now. That's hellotushy.com/bombcast for 10% off. Whoa. Everyone's trying to do a little bit better, you know? You're trying to eat right, trying to take care of yourself just a little bit more. I know the last couple years haven't exactly been a bastion of healthy eating for a lot of folks. And, you know, maybe you're trying to switch it up, kind of get things back on track. But healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring because there's Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the junk in it, you know? And so you can eat in the morning. And hey, look, I'm not here to judge. If you want to eat breakfast cereal in the middle of the night, be my guest. In fact, I might be right there with you. Now let's talk about Magic Spoon. What is it? Or what isn't it, I guess? It's 0 grams of sugar. It's got 13 to 14 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. And hey, that honey nut flavor only has 1 gram of sugar. It's only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And you can build your own box. So they've got a bunch of different flavors. Now, some of these might line up with some famous cereals you may be aware of. And some of them, you know, hey, might be their own unique thing. It's up to you to determine that aspect of it. I'm certainly not going to connect any dots for you. But you can build your own custom bundle. Here are the flavors they've got: cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle, blueberry, cinnamon, and the newly reformulated honey nut flavor that is now going to be added to Magic Spoon's permanent collection. That's right. Honey Nut is back, and it's back forever, baby. That's as a fan of other Honey Nut cereals, this is of great interest to me. If I could get one that only had 1 gram of sugar per serving, that sounds outstanding. Anyway, it's all just, hey, it's a collection of breakfast cereals, and they'll ship it to your door. You get breakfast cereal brought right to your house. That's just convenient, and that's just nice. Now, how do you get your hands on it? All right, here's how. Go to magicspoon.com/bomb to grab a custom bundle of cereal, whatever flavors you want to combine. They are there for you to build your own box. Whatever, if you want Red Lion to be the head, you could, whatever, build your own Voltron of cereal today. And be sure to use the promo code BOMB at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. So remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/bomb and use the code BOMB to save $5 off. And thanks, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring the podcast. All right, you little brain amoebas, it's time for the news.
That Tony Hawk song, Amoeba.
Amoeba.
Did anybody else think that the lyrics to that was Tony Hawk?
Yes.
Nope.
No.
I didn't know quite what it was saying. I was pretty sure it was not that, but that's not the first time I've heard people say that. That's
I mean, maybe if you're like under 10 when you're playing Tony Hawk, you're like, oh, they're just saying Tony Hawk.
Yeah, they're saying Tony Hawk. More people should write songs about Tony Hawk, I think is the lesson the lesson to be learned here.
I'm sure there's like a Suicide Machines song about Tony Hawk. There's got to be.
I mean, he had his own, or I don't know if he still does, but it's not on. He had a satellite radio station for a good long time. So surely.
Oh, all right.
Some in the chat thought they were singing Donkey Kong.
Also appropriate.
More people should write songs about Donkey Kong, I think, as
There you
well.
go.
Buckner and
love
Garcia's Do the Donkey Kong is a great blueprint, but honestly, we could go further. Atari.
Oh,
What are they up to?
The speaker hat people. The hotel.
Right.
Okay, so no longer the hotel and casino people. Atari has announced plans to terminate the joint venture they had with the ICICB group.
oh no.
Which I think is an offshoot of the Insane Clown Posse.
The holding company.
The Insane Clown Italian Cheese Bread Company, I think is what.
Oh, delicious.
I mean, now I give a fuck.
Now you're fucking in. They have terminated their relationship. The ICICB is some kind of holding company based in Dubai. That's as far as I got into it before I was like, okay,
right. Jesus, okay.
that sounds like a joint venture you would terminate and maybe not sign into in the beginning. So what this does is this gets rid of the blockchain plans that Atari had with Atari coin and Atari token or whatever. Like they had some kind of plans along those lines. And this also terminates the licenses for the hotel and casino effective April 18th, 2022.
Which
ICICB
unlocks the door for Intellivision.
Oh yeah, the Intellivision Hotel Casino.
That pivot,
coin.
that is the easiest pivot in the history of pivots.
The B-17 bomber coin is coming your way. B-17 bomber coin, they'll call it. So yes, this is them getting out of that relationship, and so I know we were all dying.
I was so ready.
Go to the hotel, and honestly, we should have purchased some of the Atari Hotel merchandise.
Shit,
it's a missed opportunity. But
weren't they planning on having these in multiple cities?
Yeah, I think they had one location kind of picked out. I mean, I don't know. This whole thing never seemed like it was actually legit, right? It was just like, okay, this is, and you go look at it, you're like, okay, this is some holding company in Dubai that cares about the blockchain. And they're like, we're going to open a hotel casino. It's like, yeah, the fuck you are. Come on. Yeah, and the Amico's coming out next week, too. So that's all off the table. Despite that, Atari, in this press release, says, Atari remains enthusiastic about the potential for blockchain initiatives and continues to establish and pursue strategic ventures and partnerships in the space. As such, Atari will create, distribute, and solely manage a new proprietary token with a focus on gaming, community, and utility. And so they are anyone that ended up, I guess at some point, the Atari token ended up existing in some form as part of this joint venture, and they are going to seize the old tokens for the new tokens. I don't know. Can't
believe people get paid to write words in that order like that.
Yeah. To participate, Atari token holders will be required to present their Atari tokens at the time of exchange. Only tokens present in wallets as of the snapshot and in amounts equivalent to those captured at the snapshot will be eligible. Any tokens acquired after the snapshot will not be eligible. I don't know.
Word.
Is this what it sounds like when I talk about Super Auto Pets and Luck Be A Landlord?
It's not too far off. Yeah.
Yours is better.
Maybe I should get into the blockchain then.
No.
That's the logical pivot.
Yeah. I feel like that's, you're already into gambling and clicking on stuff. So why not get aped up?
Okay. Never mind. I refuse.
All the kids are doing it.
All your apes gone.
Nice.
And Atari is taking some kind of accounting write down as a part of this that they will disclose in more detail at a later date. I don't know. Atari, they had a new CEO come in recently or get promoted up recently that seemed like he maybe cares about games a little bit more. They purchased Moby Games, and there was along with that was a sort of a like, hey, we care about the history of video games, we care about Atari's history and all this other stuff, and it was like stuff you look at and go like, well, this is I'll believe it when I see it, but this is also the most promising thing anyone involved with Atari has said out of their mouths in probably the last 2 decades. We'll see what comes of that. But so there was like a hint of like maybe Atari is starting to get it or starting to figure out something that they could do with whatever they still hold the rights to that is not like an utter embarrassment to their legacy. But I don't know, like they're still doing this blockchain shit and fuck that.
Baffling.
Yeah, at least they're not. I say at least they're not doing the hotel and casino, but also it would have been very exciting to go and see what the fuck that disaster of a location would look like.
Yeah. Do you have games in every room? Did you just have fun carpets?
Right, because like they're
thinking just fun
systems,
carpets,
yeah. Because like hotel, there are a variety of hotel-based video game systems, right? That it gets charged to your room and you can play N64 games, on your TV. Or like I was looking at one that apparently there was a Neo Geo version of that for a while, and there was a unit, one of those hotel units, up on Yahoo Auctions Japan for a whole lot of money, and I was looking at it for a while going like, what if I bought the fucking Neo Geo hotel system? That'd be a terrible fucking idea. So maybe they do that, maybe they could have done that with Ataris, but you wouldn't put hardware in the room. I'm sure at some point they were like, well, we've got our new VCS out, we've got our brand new Atari console that we could put in there. That shit show still exists and is probably getting blown out at retail by now.
Does the sync just look like one of the controllers or something?
I feel like that's too much work, and that would be too good.
Oh man!
Right? I think you're doing the minimal. Like you're putting here's a big framed poster of the Defender Atari 2600 box art that we're putting in this room on this floor, and then this one's got a missile command, and this one's got a berserk, and if you get in a fancy suite, maybe there's an Asteroids Deluxe machine in it. And you're like, wow.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I just designed a better Atari hotel.
I think you did. I think you did.
All right. Atari, come find me. I hear you're buying websites with wikis attached to them. Let's fucking go.
I don't accept your fucking tokens.
Yes, and yes, American fucking cashito only.
Cashito.
Take these tokens and stuff them
fiat
up Bentley Bear's ass. Whoa. Mario
Miyamoto here.
This is Miyamoto. I have your daughter.
So weird. This is
attached.
So weird.
Deliver $18 million in unmarked bills and tape it to the underside of the toilet in the third stall at Grand Central Station. Or she will, or you, if you ever want to see her again.
I didn't know you could kidnap Miyamoto.
No, this is Miyamoto is a threat to society.
Doing the kidnapping, yeah.
He's a TTS. He's out there.
I feel like
I think his Twitter got hacked by Charles Martinet.
I think it's reversed. Yeah. That's how I'm seeing it.
The Nintendo of America Twitter account posted last night. This is Miyamoto. After consulting with Chris San, my partner at Illumination on the Super Mario Brothers film, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28 in Japan and April 7 in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait.
When he says Chris San, is that Chris Pratt or someone at Illumination?
It's like the head of Illumination.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think no one
You're
consults
giving
with Chris Pratt.
I'm giving Chris Pratt the fucking go no go.
I don't
know.
know.
He's so cool though.
He's so extremely cool. He'll be extremely cool 1 year from now. We promise. He'll still be extremely cool. I mean, also like whatever. Fine. Okay, great. Fine, good.
When push the movie back.
When was the original?
Back all the time.
Yeah.
The original was September of this year, right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, stuff comes up all the time.
Movies don't get pushed back in the way that games get pushed back, which is understandable why. It's just funny how like this is now taken on that sort of like characteristic of a game.
There's something about video game movies that
I'm just saying, like,
the vibe is different, and they
you
have
knock
to
out a
sometimes
game,
get
you can knock
delayed.
out a movie from first day of principal photography to in theaters in like 5 months if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not a CGI movie.
What else is on the schedule
no, you're right. You're right.
for a video game? It's just Borderlands, right? Is that the only other? And that's not going to come out this year.
You mean the Eli Roth joint?
Sure. Janina Gavankar's Borderlands. Right.
In terms of this year, I think that's it.
Yeah.
You think
that ain't happening?
You think Miyamoto saw Sonic 2 and was like,
see it, yeah, definitely. No, I was going to say, you're
we
going
gotta
to see
let
a tweet
that
that says, this is Pitchford. After consulting with, we'll be out in 2023.
This is Claptrap.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we talked about it recently. Like, hey, do you think that they are sweating Sonic 2's success at all? And it's hard to go from like that movie coming out just now to them making this move, but at the same time, I could see them being in a situation where they're like, hey, we really need to kill it with this. It's Mario.
Yeah.
It's not, we can't.
I think both of these films can exist in a year. There's plenty of room.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Console wars are back, baby. You gotta space them out.
Yeah, but no, it's more. I would bet it's more of a, hey, this needs to be really good, and maybe it's not there yet.
Yeah,
I find it very easy to believe that like a Mario movie would not have like the smoothest path to screen, and that they might go like, hey, by the way, this script is garbage, or like this is for idiots. Like only an idiot would like this movie. We need to have a broad appeal, and also, by the way, there's probably a little bit of back channel. Like if we put this fucking movie out and Sonic the fucking Hedgehog fucking beats us at the fucking box office, if Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, we put those motherfuckers in the fucking ground. They can't make fucking game machines anymore because of what we fucking did. Fuck those motherfuckers. If we put this movie out and Sonic the fucking Hedgehog is toe tapping fucking punk ass, does better than motherfucking Mario, heads will fucking roll.
And that's why
I'm turning over every fucking tea table in sight, man. This is Miyamoto.
I mean, you got his accent down perfectly. Yeah. The animated film, right? I feel like is more of a mystery than any other type of film, right?
Sure.
But like if this movie is a year away, they cannot like be rewriting this script. Like this thing is locked for the most part.
Maybe they're doing Punch Up where they just like have the off-screen characters yelling jokes.
Maybe. I mean, but like this movie had better be well on its way by now, or it ain't. Or if like you cannot just turn something like that around in a year.
Yeah, April is still pretty close. Like a year is still pretty close in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I know they completely redid Sonic in what felt like a short amount of time, but that was just like one character, and I don't know. But this, I don't know if they're changing. Who knows? I don't know.
I would go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think this is one of those truly like mysterious like what exactly is happening behind the curtain here.
Yeah, have we seen any production photos or anything? Like we don't even know if it's like live action and mixed CGI like the Sonic movies are.
Based
right?
off
I was
of,
convinced it was totally CG, but
totally
maybe
CG,
that's just a
right?
hunch and not
because
reality.
Is that confirmed?
Well, they partnered with Illumination, and Illumination has a pedigree for doing.
Yeah, they only do
True,
right.
True,
yeah.
True.
I don't know. I wonder, like, are they trying to time it out with other Nintendo things, perhaps? Like the Nintendo Land and Universal Studios in Los Angeles. That's opening up next year. Maybe to coincide with that.
Sure.
Yeah. There could be some strategic benefit to
voice acting availability is probably all up and down all over the place. Especially with Hollywood ramping back up. Then maybe they can't get Chris Pratt into the booth.
He's like, I'm doing Garfield this month. You got to leave me alone.
Yeah.
If your reshoots, we'll talk later.
It's fun to speculate.
I would really like to be on the inside of the writing of this tweet and the like fucking week-long email chain of people going like, no, it should say this is Miyamoto. at the front of it. Like the okay, we need to humanize this delay because we need to make sure that it that people don't. It's a weird thing to do because it's a Mario movie. Like on some level, who gives a shit? It gets delayed. Like it doesn't matter. Like, but this weirdly personal touch for the delay of this movie. Like, I'd really like to know how that decision got made. If it was just like it was the word out of Japan. Like, no, this is people are going to be very disappointed. So we need to make sure that we are like. Putting as human a face on this as we can, and were there people in the U.S. going like, no one cares. We haven't shown anything yet. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we don't delay
it. And like, no,
we all forgot about it.
It's not even real in our minds yet because we haven't seen any.
We haven't seen it.
Stuff, so
it might as well not exist yet.
Yeah, no one can be bad at Miyamoto. This is our way out, right? True. Okay, at the front of every tweet we write from here on out, just write "This is Miyamoto" on the front of it.
I wish he had.
I was gonna say, have you seen how well received that tweet was?
I wish he just went full Hulk Hogan with it, and like it just was like -SM instead of HH.
Yeah,
and then like people would have been like, "Oh wait, is that Miyamoto or is that Super Mario? Is Super Mario taking over the Twitter account?
Is he the Spider-Man?
Spider-Man took away the Super Mario movie. Damn you, Tom Holland!
Spider-Man was like, I've got my Bad Bunny film coming out."
Kind of excited for that.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Bad Bunny's a great wrestler.
Yes, one of the best. Variable refresh rate has rolled out on the PlayStation 5, which is something people have been waiting for since launch. This was something they talked about prior to the release of the PS5, and the Xbox platform has had it for some time. It is finally hitting this week alongside patches for about 15 games that will support that natively. Here's my quick description of what that is. Mm-hmm. Games don't run at stable frame rates, and when they don't, you'll see tearing in the screen unless you have a fancy new TV that can run at whatever frame rate the content is, and in that case, it stays smooth, and it's a pretty nice concept. For sure, it's what G-Sync is, if you're familiar with that, or FreeSync. It is more like FreeSync. And so they have in the coming weeks, these games will be patched according to Sony, according to Polygon, according to Sony. Astro's Playroom, Call of Duty Vanguard, Black Ops Cold War, Destiny 2, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Dirt 5, Godfall, Spider-Man Remastered, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil Village, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and Tribes of Midgard. Deathloop also is already been patched, I guess. Okay. That's a decent list. This also has an option to enable it in games that don't support it natively. So you can kind of go in and toggle that on, sort of like the boost mode on the PS4 Pro for running old PS4 games back when that was a thing that people did. And yeah, that's cool. I have a TV that supports all that stuff, but I feel like I am not especially interested in it anymore because I would much rather not ever have to rewire anything and leave everything hooked up through my capture card all the time. And so I think a certain amount of laziness combined with like virtual or the refresh rate stuff on console being so sporadic and only supported by a handful of games and stuff like this has not been a major thing. I'm definitely not logging back into the dock that logged me out in the middle of the show yet again. And stalling for time by continuing to talk about this story that really...
Here, let me help you.
Yeah.
What was really funny is it logged me out and I had to like make a whole new password even. It was like, your password's expired. I was like, oh, hell yes. I wonder if this is going to happen to Jeff Gerstmann in like 15 minutes.
I don't know, like...
I'm back in. Okay.
Oh, cool.
I don't know like why this isn't a thing or if I'm missing something. I feel like I've spent a fair amount of time behind my fair share of monitors over the course of a few decades. TVs,
Behind
what
the
have
Monitor
you.
with Jeff Backlar.
Yes, it's my new NPR podcast. And you know, I gotta say, like, every fucking TV, every fucking monitor should have a pass-through out. Like, give me an HDMI out.
I agree.
Yeah.
On everything.
Yes. Yes.
I don't like. What's that? Another $50?
Well, it's another $50, and then like, okay, what EDID do you send? Like, what can that support? And the TV specs have gotten so fucked that like that's
right. And like, I guess the great fear is like, oh, you're just gonna daisy chain like 4,000 TVs behind the first one.
Only supports 720p, so that means everything past it only shows in 720p.
They'll nerf it, right? Like, but I don't think there is, and plus you can get a splitter that will carry like that sort of stuff too, and kind of there are ways to do it not as elegant as perhaps a catch-all HDMI out sort of thing. I know there's HDCP crap you got to worry about as well.
Yeah,
but
I'm stripping all that shit off already.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, strip that the second you can, right? Yeah. But I mean, to me, like especially the way we are pivoting in kind of like the sharing mentality. I don't know. I just think it's a small feature that would be super sick.
I can't tell you the number of AV people setting up booths in places, how much that would benefit them.
I mean, the thing is that all we are doing is spending a great amount of time, money, and effort to work around it, right? And to like find the solution that does the thing that could be easily solved with this catch-all solution.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, well, we got to get into the hotel business and now the monitor business.
Every hotel room is going to have 3 different monitors in it, and they're all daisy chained up.
Oh, shit.
It's going to be sweet. Monitor business.
Unless you get the Matthew Rory suite where you just have one real wide one.
One real long one. Not to just have monitor talk for a while here, but I was laying in bed last night, and I came to the realization that my life would be markedly improved if I had a 3rd monitor.
Oh, I got 3. Let's go.
Yeah,
I got 1.
Jess, you should have at least 2.
Because if I'm playing a full screen game and then I need chat up over here on my big monitor, but I still need to be able to monitor the stream and make sure it's working properly.
Makes
so
sense.
I need another monitor above this one that I can throw OBS and all that other shit onto.
Yeah.
And
you know what? Throw in an iPad in there too.
Add that. Add the monitor to the buy list.
Yeah,
you need at least 2. 100%.
Oh, no. I'm gonna need a bigger desk.
Jess, how do you edit? Don't you like? I edit where I have the program on one thing.
I'm just that good. I don't.
She's right.
All right,
she's right. Okay.
But no, Gershman's completely right. Like,
get yourself that 3rd monitor, Jeff.
I'm contemplating a 4th. Actually, if you count the TV behind me, that's the 4th.
So what I would kind of like to do is, my side monitor here is a 30-inch that I have rotated.
Yeah.
And it's big. And so I almost want to get another one of those for the other side instead of a TIE fighter there? Yeah, just have a big giant H battle station. Yeah. And then I can get into all kinds of cool giant H fights.
Oh, H is for battle station.
That's right. Sony, not only are they rolling out firmware updates, they're also rolling out new requirements for developers of video games on their platform. This looks like it's going to come as part of their whole tiered, structured approach to PlayStation Plus. I guess the upshot of it here, according to GameDeveloper.com, that's the former Gama Sutra. Congratulations to them still, yet again, for finally changing their name. That any game that has a wholesale cost of $34 or higher will be required to have a time-limited game demo, like a trial version of the game.
Peculiar little detail.
Yeah. This is seems like a policy update that has appeared on Sony's developer portal, and sources, GameDeveloper.com sources indicated they have not received other communication about the change. It's just something that kind of showed up one day, like, hey, by the way, you need to make a demo. Forced demos was a real hit back in the Xbox Live Arcade days. Everyone loved doing it.
I will say from a user perspective, it was neat.
It is super neat. And I do like the idea of like, hey, if you are on a high tier, like, like it is something for, people on those higher tier PlayStation plans to be able to kind of check out demos of the games. But if forcing developers to make demos of games, and it looks like there's developers have up to 3 months after their game's launch to release their timed trial. So yeah, trials, not demos per se. So
right, and presumably, if to take it at its word, like a time trial could be different than a demo.
It could be the full game that just cuts off after a number of hours. It's hard to say, like because they haven't really communicated about it. Right. It's hard to know, like, will the PlayStation itself have functionality built in to manage that demo time, or are they going to count on developers to do that work? People on smaller teams will find that to be a pain in the ass, for sure. And yeah, that's I don't know. That's something. It's still not day one first party games on your service, which is kind of the gold standard. But having demos for pricier games and being able to check out everything for a couple of hours, though, if they have 3 months of wiggle room, are you really going to wait 3 months after a game's release and wait for that time trial?
Because then, like, the trial might be a couple patches behind the full game, right? Because then they're going to have to
if they build it right, it's just the full game all the time, and that the console is smart enough to go, you've played 2 hours of this, and now we're cutting you off.
Right.
But you're also downloading the entire content of the entire game to a hard drive, which opens up something. Well, whatever. Microsoft does that. You can you can download anything on an Xbox, whether you own it or not, as part of their like mobile install process.
Wouldn't it be easier to perhaps, I don't know, offer like a Steam like refund system?
Oh, that's they don't want to. They don't.
I know they don't want to do that. I know they don't want to do that.
To give money back. I mean, yes, that would be great. They should do that, but no. And the trials are required to be available to PlayStation Plus Premium users for at least 12 months. So they're still open to doing custom demos, according to this report, and so on and so forth. But this just, this sounds like it'll be like this could be a real hassle for smaller developers to deal with. Bigger teams are going to have the resources in place already to kind of do some of that work, but we'll see how 34. That's wholesale. I forget. You have to go through the process of figuring out like what does that mean in retail money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it'd be higher than that. So Blizzard news: the Overwatch 2 beta is going right now. I believe it started as we were starting the show. In fact, I can launch the Battle.net client and tell you if I have access to it yet.
Reporting live on the scene.
That's right. Yep. Overwatch 2 tech beta is what it's referred to in the Battle.net client. And it's got 4 new maps, some reworks of some characters, a new character named Sojourn, a new push mode, a ping system. It's PC only. They're going to do console later. And they are letting people in via Twitch drops, I guess. So go change the name of the game we're playing to Overwatch 2. Maybe more people will watch. I don't know. I don't even know if we have drops turned on. I forget. But yeah, so they're going to dole out beta access that way. And yeah. I guess chat is saying Twitch drops start tomorrow. So it's on right now. We'll take a look at it at some point. I don't know. I haven't played Overwatch in a very long time, and I'm like, I guess I would say I'm mildly interested in seeing the changes they've made, but also because I haven't been keeping current with it, I'm not going to even notice. I'm looking like, hey, it looks like Overwatch. Here's everything. You want a preview of my Overwatch 2 beta coverage?
Yes, please.
Okay, here it is. Yes, they're making more Overwatch.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
you heard it here.
And it's just the PvP stuff. Obviously part of Overwatch 2 is going to be that'll be the stuff that's actually different, is the kind of co-op versus AI sort of stuff that they are working on down the line. But this is just the PvP stuff. So we will see. The other big Blizzard thing, this is maybe a weirder story that, as I've kind of read it and rolled it around in my head last night, started making sense. Diablo Immortal, which is the mobile game.
I forgot this existed, honestly.
Yeah. Remember when they announced it and then like people were like, what the fuck? And they were like, what, you don't got a phone? Which is a great reaction.
I mean, I do, but
that doesn't mean I want to fucking play a free-to-play Diablo on it. Ass. They're bringing that game to PC. So even if you don't have a phone, you will still have an opportunity to play the free-to-play Diablo game. I have heard this game is all right. They've been running closed betas for a while, and it seems like some of the reactions have been like, hey, you know what? This is pretty okay. They are billing it as like the biggest Diablo ever, which I suspect is partially because Diablo 4 is not out yet. I would hope Diablo 4 would be bigger than the free-to-play Diablo game for phones.
Okay.
But what the fuck do I know? There's a quote that Polygon has here. It says, the deciding factor was that we knew many of you would attempt to play this game through an emulator, thus leading us towards building a better experience. They're like, well, you're going to play it on a PC anyway, so I guess we might as well do a PC version of the game. It'll be full cross-play, cross-progress, all that other stuff with your account.
It's pretty fun.
And everything rolls out June 2nd. The PC version will technically be in open beta on June 2nd, whereas the mobile game will be just out, but all that stuff will carry over, so presumably it'll be pretty full-featured.
Okay.
On PC. I guess like the emulator thing is real, and that, you know, that makes sense. I get it. But also this has to just be like a further like, hey, Diablo 4 is not coming soon. They had already said it was not coming out this year. I think people are expecting 2023, but now this coming to PC says to me like, well, we want to give it a big long window and not cut its knees out from under it by putting out Diablo 4. So maybe Diablo 4 is like a Q4, D4 situation.
Especially rolling this out in June of all times, where they would want to give it the legs to keep rolling around and maybe build up some hype.
Yeah.
I don't expect Diablo 4 to come out this year.
No. They've already ruled that out. So they've at least already said, hey, it ain't this year.
But even like summer of next year, maybe not.
Yeah. Because, you know, as a free-to-play game, they're probably going to want to keep doing content, and they want to keep doing like, hey, we're doing seasons just like Diablo 3, but these seasons are battle passes. I don't know what they're doing, honestly. But
do you think after doing the work in this, they would bring it over to consoles, perhaps?
No, back to phones after. Again.
Yeah, they port the PC version back to different phones. It's going to come on a Windows phone. They could. I mean, if it does well, they'll probably very much want to do that, right? They'll be like, oh, well, there's a whole another round of players that we can rope into this thing. And then I feel like that just makes the situation stickier with like, what is Diablo 4 and when's it coming out and all the other stuff. Because like now you've got too much Diablo. It's a strange problem to have. Amy Hennig is back, working in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, Amy Hennig is back.
Amy Hennig is back. Blow up the TIE fighters. Skydance New Media is where Amy Hennig ended up, and they previously announced they were working on a Marvel game, and now they're working on the other type of video game, Star Wars.
Yeah, the two
video games are represented.
Two types.
If you remember, Amy Hennig kicked around EA Amy Hennig's been all over the place and done all kinds of cool shit, but was most recently, I guess, working on a very ambitious Star Wars project that EA could not make happen at the time, and so it did not happen. And now she's working on a project that is being billed as a richly cinematic action-adventure game featuring an original story. No title, no date, no platforms, no nothing, which is the same. The only bit on the Marvel game is it's a narrative-driven blockbuster action-adventure game featuring a completely original story and take on the Marvel universe with no, like, is it Iron Man? Or is it the Power Pack? What are we?
Squirrel Girl?
Is it Spider-Ham?
Completely original take on this thing that's so close to the same thing every time there's a movie of it is interesting.
Yeah. Is it the Sledgehammer limited series comic they did that I still have issues 1 and 2 of around here? Maybe it's that. That man talked to his gun.
Cool.
So presumably Skydance New Media is fucking hiring, because that's, if you're working on a big Star Wars and a big Marvel, you're probably going to need let's call it 600 people. I don't know.
Yeah, I know nothing about game development, but about 600 or so.
Yeah, sure. You're going to need 300 people internally, and you're going to outsource another 2,000.
Just think of the legal team you're going to need.
All right. Oh, just the approval process of sending all this stuff over to Disney so that John Drake can look at it go like, not Star Wars enough. What the fuck? And then
it's more of a boom rather than a boom.
Yeah.
What other games has Skydance Media put out?
Skydance,
or are they like Skydance a relatively
New Media
new?
Is straight up, I think, her studio. So I don't know that they have, but they have a Walking Dead game out, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. I am now looking. Okay, so Skydance Interactive has existed for a while, and this is not necessarily that. Or this is they have expanded since then. So they had a Walking Dead. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners came out in 2020.
The VR game.
Yeah. Yes, and they put out Pwned before that, which was that game that no one wanted to play, and Archangel, which I think that was that VR mech game.
Right.
I think
that sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't know any of these.
Okay, Archangel Hellfire. I'm looking at this on Steam. It came out in 2017.
Oh.
Okay, yes, yes. This is the VR game. So I played this at an E3 Judges Week, and there were like big drums you could pick up that had fuel in them to like recharge yourself.
Yes.
And the only cool thing about that entire game was that you could pick up 2 of them and then smash them together and pour the juice on yourself like you were a stone cold fucking Steve Austin mech. And the rest of it was pretty whatever. So they have obviously expanded. They brought on Amy Hennig. It seems like they're making a real run at it, and now they've got the licenses to fucking go to spend a whole lot of money, I guess. I mean,
yeah,
shit. Yeah, those games will not be cheap to make, I'm sure. Ubisoft, we've had a trio of Ubisoft stories over the weekend. People could not stop talking about Ubisoft.
Waves.
Matt Rory's Ubisoft.
Right?
Yeah, it's on the tip of everyone's tongue. Everyone is like, what's going on this weekend? No games coming out. Yeah, but what's going on with Ubisoft?
Yeah, what are they doing?
A game leaked out called Project Q. Probably not its final title. Some gameplay leaked out of that, and then hot on the heels of that, Ubisoft went ahead and acknowledged its existence on Twitter and said, hey, yeah, we want to take signups for this Project Q thing. And it's funny because they had to like, so there's one screenshot attached to this, and people were very much like, looks kind of like Fortnite, looks sort of like a battle royale game. And the image they put up alongside of it, it's very colorful and, you know, cartoony in a way that is not dissimilar to Fortnite, I guess I would say. Okay. And so as part of their tweets acknowledging the game, they had to say, introducing codename Project Q, a team battle arena letting players truly own the experience.
Oh, no.
What is that?
Yeah. This game is in early development and we will keep testing. So for now, all you can do is register for upcoming tests. Okay. So then all the reports hit saying like, this kind of looks like a Fortnite. Okay. Then they had to follow up with the tweet with, by the way, this is not a battle royale. This game will feature a variety of PvP modes with one single goal in mind: fun.
That's things a battle royale would say. I'm sorry.
It sounds like that the build, or I don't know if they've started testing, but it sounds like the game has a couple of modes in it right now, and one of them is somewhat battle royale-esque, but maybe not a direct mode that's like that. But there's something not entirely dissimilar to that.
More games should have a fun mode.
Yeah. Finally, put fun into video games. Am I right?
Fun.
Let me tell you about the Intellivision Amico.
Okay.
Putting fun at the center of the experience for families. Oh, God. I went into a fugue state there for a sec. So, Bacalar, you had the appropriate response to the other bit of that initial information about truly owning the experience, which then caused a second follow-up We don't have plans to add NFTs to this game. You can find out more by registering and taking part in the upcoming tests.
Then why did you put all the dog whistle terms for it in there?
Yeah, don't write own the experience or like unless you. I mean, like so. At some point, that sounds to me like okay, you're making a Roblox.
Can't spell fun without NF.
You're not. I mean,
all that's missing is you.
Yeah,
you're
nice.
You're not. Great. All right. Congratulations. You've both been conscripted onto the Ubisoft social team.
Well, it's funny because like this was what I had always imagined at the beginning of this fuckery and this trajectory that we are currently involved in was that they were all going to realize like, oh, we can't say these words anymore, so we have to find other words to say and mean the same thing.
Yes,
so
and
this could be that
truly own the experience is definitely like that reads like that to me. And so like I think the first response I saw on Twitter was very much like, oh, so how are you using the blockchain thing?
And then like
if it's not NFTs, then what the fuck is? All right, okay.
Truly
what other hell world are you?
The experience, like. I feel like I'm high. What does that mean?
They're gonna have Funko Pops.
That's why I say Roblox, because what if it is a sandbox that you are able to create your own modes in, and you're like, this is a mode that I own, I created it, and now I can share it with you. It's team deathmatch, but with rocket launchers.
I don't want to own experiences. I want to have experience. You know, like it's.
Well,
the language is so weird.
People, so you know, I don't know, that makes more sense to me. And people, let me tell you, people sure do love Roblox.
Yes,
I need you to know that fact.
Yes, there's a lot of money in Roblox these days.
My child got not one, not two, but 3 Roblox currency gift cards for his birthday.
I got a nephew of mine last year a Roblox gift card, and I am told I was not there in person, but that he went running around the house like a lunatic.
There you go.
So excited about it.
There it is.
And now they're doing more and more like brand integration stuff there. Like they saw the Fortnite situation when like there's money to be made over there. So there's like an official Sonic the Hedgehog thing in Roblox now. I just got a press release today, which I don't know if this is a good crossover age wise, but He-Man. There's going to be a big He-Man Masters of the Universe thing in Roblox.
Well, or maybe, that's the introductory to a brand sort of strategy, perhaps.
Yeah, right. Or they're like, hey, get your parents to think Roblox is not just about Kim Kardashian sex tapes, as the news last week would have you believe.
What?
Yeah, that's the association I had.
Yeah. I guess I thought that the Kardashians were no longer on television, and I thought we were finally free, but apparently that it's just on Hulu now or something. Correct. And there was an episode of the show where one of Kim Kardashian's children was playing Roblox and stumbled into some world that was like, get the new Kim Kardashian sex tape, and the kid was not able to read it, but was able to see the picture of her, not in a sex situation, but I think it was just her face crying or something like that. And that there was an episode of the show, and at the end of the show, apparently, I did not watch the show, this is just the reporting, was her saying like, I've got all the fucking time in the world to fucking fuck these people into the dirt, and lawyer up and whatever. So I don't know. In
Roblox, like what?
So yeah, so obviously, like a lot of the stuff in Roblox is user created. This is not something that Roblox was like, check it out.
Yeah,
no, of course not. But I'm like, how does somebody host a video on? I mean, I don't know.
There was no video. The video wasn't really there. It was just it was like, hey, come play my Roblox thing. This is the means with which I have tried to scam you into playing my Roblox thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm an enterprising child. Or whatever.
Working on SEO, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fucking Roblox clickbait is what it is.
World sucks.
Yes.
World sucks.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. It's a terror. Yeah. Okay. Yes. This world sucks. Sure. The other part of it is like you can make money building things in Roblox and selling them. Yeah. You can actually earn money yourself, and the split on that is so in favor of the Roblox people.
Yes.
That it's fucking crazy.
What is it?
It's straight up like child labor situation.
I want to say it's like 70-30 the other way.
Really?
But I don't know off the top of my head for sure. It's not, it's not great. It's not a great cut. It's not a great cut.
I've watched some YouTube documentaries about how this is fucked.
Yeah,
but I just didn't know how one would host or direct people to a sex tape video via the Roblox world.
I don't think such a sex tape even exists. I think it is just them trying to do whatever sort of stuff.
I hope that Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker have their marriage in Roblox. I'll attend.
That is a doable future. That is the pieces can come together for that to happen. I feel like
we could make those. So the two modes in Project Q, according to Video Games Chronicle, are Showdown, which is the game's take on a battle royale consisting of 4 teams of 2 players.
They said it's not a battle royale.
But Video Games Chronicle says it's a take on a battle royale.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No, this is not the Ubisoft. This is not the Ubisoft description. This is their take on it. It's Showdown mode, which is 4 teams of 2, which is pretty low for a battle royale, admittedly.
Sure.
And Battle Zone, a mode in which 2 teams of 4 players battle to control an area of the map for as long as possible. So it sounds like a King of the Hill kind of mode.
Okay.
And it seems like an ability shooter with the weapons include a deck of cards, fireworks, hammers, sticks, and paint guns. Also of note in the Video Games Chronicle article is that Project Q was yet another game listed in that big NVIDIA leak. All the big GeForce Now titles that leaked out of that, and that NVIDIA at the time was like, hey, this is just, we made these up. This isn't real. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII came to PC, and now there's a new Kingdom Hearts, and now this Project Q thing is real, and blah, blah, blah. Gears 6 was on that list. There's a handful of other unannounced things that I'm sure are totally all just made up and definitely not real on that list. Also, Ubisoft, will they get purchased? That was the other big weekend story. Their stock jumped up 11% on Friday based on a Bloomberg report saying that private equity firms like Blackstone, for example, are looking at Ubisoft and thinking about whether they should buy it or not. Bloomberg, according to Video Games Chronicle again, is not in serious negotiations with any acquisition partners or anything like that. I think they had an earnings call recently where they were like, no, we're not really actively engaged in any talks. And then we're quickly like, actually, we're not going to confirm or deny anything about any of that.
Now that we think about it.
Now that we think about the right way to answer this question, we're going to say nothing. We're going to retroactively say nothing.
Never mind.
We're going to retroactively say nothing.
They, man, what a weird ride. I guess that's the world we live in, right? And the climate we are in currently, when you think about the tooth and nail fight that Ubisoft depicted as they tried to struggle out from under a hostile takeover from Vivendi not that long ago. It's not that long ago that Eve was on stage at E3, like fucking dancing with bears and fucking pandas and rainbows and shit, going like, thank you for helping us stay us. We've fought off the fucking invaders and yay. And now they're like, hey,
we're open to
let's
it.
get private equity involved. That always goes good. So, yeah.
This dance of like fragmentation, consolidation, back and forth. It just, is this it? Is that the dance we're gonna do
forever
in every form of media forever and ever and ever?
And it's like a blur too. It's like I can't keep track of who's acquiring who and all this stuff. I'm just like, okay, I'll just go with the flow. And what?
Yeah. Yeah, basically. And at the end of the day, this stuff ideally doesn't matter to the people buying and playing games. It's all just business that happens behind the scenes, and the games still get made and so on and so forth. But it never seems to quite work out that way. The earnings call was back in February, and of course, like as with all the acquisitions, a lot of them happening from Microsoft and Sony, a lot of the questions were around like, hey, what if a platform holder picked up Ubisoft? And so their response was like, hey, like we're the only major third party making money on Nintendo platforms. It would be real dumb for Sony or Microsoft to buy us and cut that off. That I'm paraphrasing.
They really value the Rabbids' relationship with Mario.
Yeah. But private equity would love to keep making money everywhere forever.
In
so,
perpetuity.
So that would make more sense for what Ubisoft's kind of content slate.
Just give me the same like Mario Rabbids game, but like with different IP for like exclusive platforms. Ratchet and Clank and the Rabbids. Master Chief and the Rabbids.
Yep.
Asteroids and the Rabbids.
Yep.
Now you're talking.
There we go. Roblox and the Rabbids.
Okay.
The Kardashians and the Rabbids.
Oh, now, yes. Damn. This is the future we're pushing into.
We give these ideas out for free. What are we doing?
I know. That's where your Giant Bomb premium membership is paying dividends every day if you're in the business of business. If you've been following our picks, then you're 800%. Ubisoft is also shutting down online services for like a zillion old games.
Oh.
I looked over the list and it's not. It's weird because remember Ubisoft had the Uplay points and you could be like, oh, I unlocked a gold skin for a gun because I did this, or I spent my points that I earned playing the snowboarding game on cool gun skins and this kind of cross-platform achievement system and currency. In these older games, a lot of those options will just disappear and not necessarily be unlockable anymore. Older games had all that stuff unlocked as part of a transition back in 2020 when they changed the name of it to Ubisoft Connect. But some games will be impacted by this. It's like
some of these games are like, I didn't even know they had unlockable content and based off of this.
But again, some of it's not even
Smurfs,
like
Smurfs 2. No,
I can't unlock the Smurfs 2 stuff. Yeah, it doesn't get specific about what's what. But like Splinter Cell Blacklist on the Wii U won't have anything, or
Beyond Good and Evil. I did not know they had any specific unlockables
for PS3 and 360. So that's the reissue.
remake.
They must have had Uplay stuff in there, because sometimes that Uplay stuff isn't even in-game stuff. It's like, we'll email you 3 tracks off the soundtrack, or you can get some wallpaper for your fan site, or or shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So Haze on the PlayStation 3. You're fucked. We're fucked.
The surprising one is seeing OnLive listed as a platform here, and I didn't know that OnLive was still a thing.
Driver San Francisco on OnLive will apparently it's not, and also crazy. Silent Hunter 5 on OnLive and Splinter Cell Conviction on OnLive. Did they just mean to write Stadia and they fucked up, or why? I mean, they're pretty much the same, right?
Maybe, OnLive could just be the catch-all for all those things. It's probably.
I'm also confused. I'm sorry. Was there? I know there was a Shaun White snowboarding game. But was there also a Shaun White skateboarding game?
Yes.
What?
Sure.
Yeah. They were like, what if we made a skateboarding game? Because those are still, people are still making those, and we should make one of those. And Shaun White can ride a skateboard, we're told. So.
Yeah, he's very good.
Might be.
Yeah. So yeah, they did both. The skateboarding game I remember being not awful, but not in this, not like a good solid Tony Hawk game or anything.
I remember the press he did for the snowboarding game. I do not remember there even being a skateboarding game at all.
The skateboarding game came after, because they were like, well, we got all the license, because and we did the one game that he would be known for. What else? Like, well,
they really dragged him all over the country. In that game, man.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's. I was gonna say that's got to be fun, but at some point, no.
Yeah, but no, you know what? Him and Tony Hawk. Every time I got to interact with those two, smile, happy to be there. What's up? Right?
Like, you got to meet Tony Hawk.
Yeah, a bunch of times. Yeah.
Damn.
He was on. He was on 404. I think 2 times, 3 times, maybe.
Fuck.
Same with Shaun White. Yeah.
He seems lovely.
Yeah. That's
Tony Hawk
a great word for them. Yep.
Yeah. Lovely is the right word. I remember hearing a story from the person who was doing PR for Activision at the time when Tony Hawk 3 and some of and maybe like Thug and stuff like that were coming out, that they did a press tour with Bam Margera.
Okay, maybe a different kind of tour.
And the only detail I heard from it was like, that dude, I don't think that dude showered the entire time we were on the road.
Oh,
you certainly
boy.
didn't smell like someone who had showered.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah, that was the only detail I got out of that. But that sounds less pleasant. I did not meet Bam Margera on a press tour. But
Yay.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like that's a win.
I stood near him. I told the story, but he was dating someone who lived in my town, or was from my town rather. So he would be back around in the local bars for the holidays, and so you would just be hanging out at the dive bar on Christmas, and you'd be like, "Who's this tiny man over there?" Oh, that's Bam Margera, buying drinks for everyone, and everyone is standing around him trying to talk to him, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I like the work he has done, but I'm not going to wade through this crowd of fucking weird drunk girls to go talk to Bam Margera.
Just be like,
Bam.
Sup.
Yeah. Yo, you Bam.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Sick, bro. Last bit of fuckery for the week here. Sonic Origins. The origins of Sonic the Hedgehog, from the movies. Did you know that they made video games back in the good old days about Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
That is what it is now. I'm telling you.
Yes, Sega intends to tell the Sonic origin story in a $39.99 video game coming out sometime this year.
Coming out.
And sure, whatever. So this is going to be it's like Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and Sonic CD, I believe, are the games in the collection. So 4 Genesis games and a Sega CD game. June 23rd is when that will come out on PS5, Series X, Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And so, okay, sure, fine. It's got those 5 games in it, and they have got the most. They had to put out a chart for the DLC for this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the upshot here, is that they took these 16-bit Sega games from the 90s and somehow made re-releasing them so convoluted that they had to put out a fucking chart.
And even the chart is like inexplicable.
It's fucking crazy. Okay.
Like usually it's like a stair-stepping sort of situation.
It's not like, oh, level 1 you get these 2 things, and level 2 you get those 2 things plus 3 more things.
Yeah, this is a bingo card more than a
ones in different categories, and there isn't one single category where you get all the stuff.
Right.
They're still missing stuff, even in the best, most expensive pre-order category.
So what the deal is here is that there's actually just going to be 2 editions of the game, and the more expensive edition gets you more of the DLC. So a lot of the stuff is just going to be offered as like one-off upgrades. So for that $39.99, you get the main game, Sonic Origins. They will have another pack of DLC that will come for free if you pre-order the game, and that will get you letterbox background, which they're not really.
That is insane. That is a gated DLC thing.
So that's probably, all these games are 4x3. You're going to be playing them on a wide TV. That's going to be a background that goes like, look, it looks like the box art from Japanese Sonic 1, and you never change it from anything from that because that's the only good one. Or this one's the Genesis logo, or whatever that you can. I assume that's what that means. Mirror mode unlocked. I assume that is just you run to the left.
You just go left now. Yeah.
Just go left now. That's okay. They're locking. Okay. Unlocked implies that maybe there's a way to unlock that in the game itself, perhaps.
Right.
Because this is called the Start Dash Pack. So that sounds like hey, we're going to unlock some things out of the gate for you if you get this, a quick start thing. Because also it's 100 bonus coins. Everyone loves Sonic the Hedgehog and his famous coins.
What the fuck is that? Maybe the coins are what you need in game
so
to
what
unlock.
You will do, yes, that's the currency. So you will, obviously you collect rings in games, but they can't have rings outside of the game because that's confusing. So at some point, I think the rings you will collect in the games as you play, or you will convert into coins you can use in an in-game storefront to unlock different stuff, and so on and so forth.
Should have been chili dogs.
Oh, I'd love to unlock 100 chili dogs.
Yeah, it's a lot of chili dogs.
A lot of heartburn, but yes.
Okay. Now, there's another DLC pack here. The Premium Fun Pack.
Okay.
I like to have fun, but I like to take it up a notch personally. And so I'm in the market for Premium Fun. For premium,
what do you get with that?
The Premium Fun Pack will get you hard missions. So maybe they're doing like a mission mode where it's like, oh, you get, hey, if you clear this part of the stage in 3 minutes with this many rings, you get a bunch of coins to spend on stuff. Letterbox background is also checked here.
Goody.
Character animation in the main menu.
The nerve that has its own fucking row. I cannot understand.
Animation in the main. I assume that means that you can make Sonic tap his foot on the menu if you so desire.
What?
That's
maybe it's like the finger wagon when he's in the logo.
Sure. Or some kind of character. Okay. Camera controls over the main menu islands.
Okay. Okay.
So I assume the main menu is probably where you're selecting the different games, and so you're going from game to game, and
free roam.
Maybe you can rotate the camera there.
Oh shit! You mean I could pay for that?
That's fucking premium fun, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And also character animations during music islands. I think the band Islands is in this. No, wait.
Premium Fun Pack.
Premium Fun. So I assume that means that there's a place to go listen to music. And in fact, there's definitely a place to go listen to music. And this means you can have character animation as a part of that experience.
Okay.
This is not very Sonic.
Now, but wait, there's more. There is also the Classic Music Pack, which is just one item. And it is additional music tracks from Mega Drive and Genesis titles. So this will, I believe, get you music from Sonic Spinball.
Okay.
Great.
And that's its own DLC.
Knuckles Chaotix and Sonic 3D Blast.
Like the Mean Bean Machine.
No, I don't believe Mean Bean Machine is on the list because in Japan that was not a Sonic game. And so they probably don't view it as such. And that's all you get in the Classic Music Pack is classic music.
Got it. Now, so then go ahead.
The Digital Deluxe Edition,
which has the most things,
but not
all the things.
Technically, it will. If you pre-order, it will get you everything,
right?
Because it comes with everything from the Premium Fun Pack and the Classic Music Pack.
But it excludes everything from the Start Dash Pack.
Right.
Well, if you pre-order,
you get that Start Dash Pack for free.
Right.
And so if you pre-order the Digital Deluxe Edition, it's everything.
Right. So but there is a way to miss out. If you just buy the Digital Deluxe Edition after the fact,
you will then have to go buy the Start Dash Pack to truly catch them all.
If you even can, which I imagine you can.
I would be so confused as a grandparent trying to buy this game for a grandchild.
Well, it's not like a grandparent is like faced with this perk matrix, right?
Well,
like you're just sort of like
they get onto the Google machine, or this printout is available somewhere at a game store.
So the other upshot here is that Digital Deluxe Edition is $5 additional. So presumably that is a savings over what buying the DLC separately will be. So it's not like they're like, hey, this Digital Deluxe Edition is $60 and these things are going to be 10 a pop. It'll be like, hey, $199. Look at you. I don't know what the pricing on the DLC is, or how much of it is even unlockable in the main game. We'll know more when the game is out, I suppose.
So hard.
But like the idea that they had to spend. How much time must have been spent carving all of this out and making this make sense and building this this chart for what amounts to a $5 thing is even crazier. Today news is out that they have also taken the additional step here. In May, they are going to delist some versions of these games that are already available for purchase to prevent you from fucking going and buying them separately.
Rude.
But they have been released in other packs, and those packs will still be available, like different, Sega Genesis classics compilations and stuff. Those will still be on sale, but I think the one-off purchases for some of these games will be This is fucking ridiculous, and I think that anyone involved with making Sonic video games is probably some kind of criminal that should be put in jail.
A criminal at this point.
And also it's a compilation that just has fucking Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and the ability to do the lock-on stuff, which they've put out before in like perfectly sensible ways that didn't require this level of fucking bullshit on top of it. And I know they're gonna do, we're gonna do some new music visualizers, some other fucking shit. Fucking come on.
That doesn't make money.
Fucking come on.
These
games are not even worth that. They don't deserve it.
Not. They're not.
From a quick glance of that graphic where they're detailing everything, I really thought that Sonic was getting into either a Ponzi scheme or some type of NFT.
Yeah, it's a timeshare situation he'd like to sell you on.
Yeah, no, Sega does have there is a Sega NFT logo that they trademarked a while back or ran through some kind of process and haven't done anything with yet, but they're like, we're stepping away from this because everyone is angry about it. But and yes, Brent points out that they have ported the engine in a modern way, so it is not it is not necessarily just emulated Genesis code. But look, and then on top of that, the Steam version has de novo. If you need to, like, one more little thing of just like they've put a bunch of anti-tamper, anti-piracy thing on these remakes of Genesis games that are 2 clicks away on the internet at all times, no matter what you are doing.
Always within an arm's reach.
Yes, you are never more than 20 seconds away from playing a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, I just, okay, sure. I don't know. This to me is just like, this is them cashing in on the success of the movie, right? This is them going like, we've got to figure out a way to get these games back out in front of people, and it's going to take a long time for the next real Sonic game to come out. So
maybe, sure.
What if this does the opposite? What if all these kids that are newfound fans of Sonic, they get into this and we're like, I don't like this game.
Too bad the games suck.
Yeah,
I think, that's the thing. Like, I mean, my anecdotal evidence aside, I presented the game to a bunch of kids and they could not care. They're like, no, that's the cartoon movie actor.
Where's
Sonic.
the chili dogs?
Not the fucking, platforming speed demon. Sorry, not interested in that version of Sonic, which is, you know what? Is kind of the right call.
Yeah.
Because the movies are probably better than those games.
Wow.
It wouldn't take much. I feel like I have been
not all the way there with me, but he's thinking about it.
I like the games as well.
I like the games too, but
Knuckles.
These games, the old games?
Yeah, I do.
Not as much as
Knuckles.
Sonic Advance is pretty good, y'all. Like 1 and 2, 3 is when they missed the ship,
That's not the games we're talking about. We're talking about 1 through 3 Knuckles and CD.
Those are good. 2 of those are great.
Knuckles is good. Yeah.
Knuckles and 2 rule.
Knuckles is good because it could also dock. I'm a fan of docking.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm big docking fans around here.
Yeah, of course. We all are. Giant Bomb Promise.
I don't want to, like, as much as I don't want to have this conversation yet again, Sonic and Knuckles is a fucking terrible video game. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is garbage. The last great Sonic game was probably Sonic 2. I used to say Sonic CD, but honestly, having gone back and played a lot of Sonic CD lately, it doesn't hold up.
What the fuck's wrong with 3 and Knuckles,
when they redrew Sonic the Hedgehog for 3 and Knuckles, they stole all of the spirit and attitude out of that game. Sonic looks like fucking dog shit. It looks like a soft, fucking weak. The original art for Sonic the Hedgehog 1, the way Sonic looked in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
What, the sprite?
Sharp, solid, yes, the sprite. All of the graphics in Sonic 3, the way they redid it, from 2 or from CD, I guess technically.
You're gonna tell me the
Sonic
fucking
3.
Sandopolis zone, Labyrinth zone
design.
Trash.
Those
Sonic
are backgrounds and sprites.
That is not my. That is hashtag not my Sonic.
And that you're gonna say the whole game's bad because the sprite's not to your liking.
Also, all the stuff they did with bubbles and all that other stuff with like, oh, I got a fire bubble now. It's like, oh, that's a neat idea on paper, but fuck that.
I'm looking at the side by side of 1 to 3.
You're looking at side by sides over there?
Yeah, we got side by side.
All right.
And it's not. I think Sonic in 3, he just looks a little bit more like porcelain.
Yeah,
it's a little shinier.
It's a crappy look.
Who cares?
Oh.
He gets long fucked up legs later. You're gonna die on the hill of
whatever.
His sprite looks different and
everything that came. I mean, like I if you want to also talk about the further downfall,
the level design?
Okay,
what about the
like
music?
3 and Knuckles, fucking whatever. But everything after that is fucking way worse.
Oh, but yeah. So like, why are you picking
up
on
until like Sonic Mania, which is like at least they're like. Because they're bad games.
You
Because
crazy.
when those games came out, I got them and was like, this sucks. These suck. These games are bad.
I remember 3 the least, I think.
They're bad video games.
What?
They always were.
I got my downstairs neighbor conned me into trading his my copy of Sonic 3 for his copy of Golden Axe.
Sounds like a gambling thing, but go on.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no more to the story. My mom lost the bet. I got back Sonic 3 and I still
I was gonna say that's just from a monetary value perspective. That's a rough one because Golden Axe is a much older game that you can finish in a day. Not that Sonic 3 is some fucking gargantuan quest, but Sonic 3.
You couldn't even save back then.
Yeah, but you didn't need to.
Yes.
Because you would sit down and play Sonic 2 and then you would play it again. You're like, all right, cool. But in retrospect, even 1 and 2, they're not good games. They were never good games.
What the fuck?
There has never been a good Sonic the Hedgehog video game except for that BioWare RPG.
The Sonic Advance games, I'll stand by it.
The arcade game with the trackball, that's kind of cool. Oh, Sonic the Fighters, that's the only good Sonic video game.
That one I don't know about.
I like Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Spinball's terrible. Oh my god, the feel of it.
But
the pinball levels in the actual Sonic games feel better than Sonic Spinball. Oh,
Sonic Spinball is garbage, but it's a garbage that I like. I am aware. Did
you play a lot of Crew Ball?
Crew Ball, I don't
It's the Motley Crue pinball game for the Genesis.
Maybe
if you had played some Crew Ball, you would have probably been much more harsh about Sonic Spinball.
Sonic Spinball feels like actual dog shit for sure. I'm not in any way making excuses for it, but there was something about, it was like what I enjoyed about it was that they figured out to like a way to not do pinball because they did not do good pinball, but they like did a fun kind of like objective Sonic based stuff that I was sort of into. And it also trained me to like not appreciate, but it trained me to like learn lag in a weird way, which I don't know it was beneficial at all, but it was a strange thing that I taught myself. And, I found the fun there.
At that age, you were stuck playing the games you're playing. And yes, if you learning how to milk value out
that game fun.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Sonic Battle for the GBA is also pretty good.
It's no trampoline terror. But
you're goddamn right.
Some of the Sonic games that came out on the DS were cool because you'd start on like the bottom screen, you'd run up a sick loop and go to the top screen. That was pretty tight.
That was a neat
Sonic
trick.
game for the Neo Geo Pocket Color is like technically competent. You go like, oh, that's cool that they were able to make a Sonic the Hedgehog game on this thing, and it's not even a Sega platform and all this other stuff. Unfortunately, still a Sonic game.
There's a baby's handful of Sonic games that I think are good. And that's not even my demented brain saying it.
Sonic the Fighters.
And it's
that RPG.
2 and Knuckles and 3.
And Shadow the Hedgehog. We can all agree.
There you go. We can agree it's Shadow the Hedgehog.
The Werehog game wasn't bad. I also really enjoy Sonic Heroes.
That's all right. Now this is getting into DeviantArt
We're
territory.
ganging up on you here. Sonic Defenders have logged on.
Sonic Heroes also has a fun song.
You're all super wrong, but that's okay.
How about Supersonic Racing? That's a great ass song. How about all the Michael Jackson songs in 2 and 3?
Better is that Supersonic Racing is better in Samba de Amigo, where you can truly appreciate it and not have to play fucking a Sonic racing game.
You're a sick freak.
The sick freaks are the Sonic fans. Don't let that, like, do not put that fucking evil on me. Those motherfuckers are out there. They are going into the GameStop. They are angry about the color of Sonic's arms. They are not going to fucking leave.
I will say Sonic R, not a fun game.
No,
they were the first people to just like wave their hand and change the entire makeup of a theatrical film.
Yeah.
Like, the musical theater audience could not do it with cats.
With little to no effort. Little to no effort.
They are a deviant force. And as such, they must be respected. But also, we must eradicate them.
There would not be a sequel if they didn't do that.
Shouts out to my Sonic pervs out there.
You sickos. You sickos. All right. Why don't we take another break? We'll come back and get into some emails.
I need it.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah. All right, let's just get into it. It's time to shave your zone. I want to just get. I just said I was going to get right into it, and then here I am hesitating. Look, you need to shave around your dick and nuts, your cock and sack. What are we calling it these days? Is there some kind of what is Dua Lipa calling it in her songs? I don't know. Look. Your zone, the pubic triangle, the genital triangle, you need to be taking care of it. That's right. It's time for spring cleaning down below. And that's where Manscaped comes in. Manscaped has a full package for your spring cleaning this year, the Performance Package 4.0. It's the only tool you need to keep everything looking and smelling right down below. To start off, all right, what do we got? The Manscaped Lawn Mower 4.0 trimmer to get the most precise shave in and around your zone. This is waterproof. So if you want to shave, look, you don't want to, let that hair go down the drain and just get it out of your life. That's certainly a way to go. So this is waterproof. The trimmer is waterproof. You can do this as part of your shower routine. It's got an LED light on it in case you shower in the dark, which I know I have been doing more and more of lately. Clear your holes and smell the spring air with the Weed Whacker. What's the Weed Whacker? It's a nose and ear hair trimmer providing proprietary skin-safe technology that helps prevent nicks and snags and tugs in your nose and your ear. You get this ear hair? You heard of this? You heard of this ear hair? It happens. It's weird. You just want to get it out of there. Even if people can't see it, sometimes you touch your ear and you're like, whoa, hair, hi. Let's just get that out of there. And hey, if you've got foul balls, that's not a euphemism. I mean, if it smells bad down there, they've got the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. The Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, and the Reviver's a spray-on toner for your balls. You got to keep them toned. Keep that sack toned, damn it. That's hey, this is gonna it's gonna keep it from sticking to your leg, all this other stuff, and leave them smelling nice. Finish off that grooming routine with the Plow 2.0. It's the perfect razor for a shave on your face. Yes, we're still shaving faces around these parts. Or hey, maybe you're growing a beard. What do I know? But don't use the Lawnmower 4.0 on your face, because that's the one you use on your balls, weirdo. So it comes with another razor to help you to not have to make that decision. It's like, well, I could just don't do it. The start of spring also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April. Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society, the TCS, to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. So smell oh so fresh and so clean this spring, and check yourself before you wreck yourself, they have written here. They're like, well, so fresh and so clean is a hip-hop reference. We should probably follow it up with another one. And they did it. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Bombcast at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Bombcast at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. All right, we're back. And why don't we get into some emails here?
Before you hit the first one, I was informed during the break that someone is in fact doing a homebrew version of Sonic's Pinball in a real life pinball machine.
Oh, okay.
I also want to issue a correction. I said that Labyrinth Zone was a bop. I meant Lava Reef Zone, and I know someone's going to be pedantic and be like, that's in Sonic 1! Not Sonic 2! So
Labyrinth Zone is a bop.
It is a bop. Lava Reef Zone, also a bop, which is what I meant.
Boppers.
All right. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is where you send your email address. You send us your email address, and then we'll send you back a question. And you wait.
That should work.
One more time. 3, 2. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address that you send your emails to, and then they will occasionally get read and filtered and so on and so forth, and eventually make their way to me, where I will read them. Much like Ben in Boston jumped through all those hoops and said, with live service games becoming more common, do you think the annual release will continue? Will the likes of FIFA, Madden, and Call of Duty turn into free-to-play or service games of some sort in the future?
No.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that makes sense. I think we might see that. Sure.
I think it depends. It's like that's one of those, like, when the lines on a graph cross, then it's more profitable to do the thing. Right. But as long as it makes them more money selling you $60 or $70 copies of Madden than selling you a subscription to Madden or selling you Madden DLC, they're gonna keep getting that disc money.
Yeah,
and I'm sure those lines are getting close.
You'd have to think so. But I bet that at the same time, there's probably some people who, especially you think about, I don't want to, there are plenty of people that play sports video games that know exactly what they're doing. But in my experience over the years, it seems like that there's a certain type of person who only plays like Madden and maybe like 2 other games a year, and they're just not tapped into like what a console can do, or like the idea of an update like that, or the idea of paying for that update and all of other stuff. I think there's still just certain types of folks out there that are not gonna make the move. They're not going to understand that move exists. And so educating them about like, hey, here's why you should hook this thing up to the internet and so on and so forth. It's not just to get the latest rosters. It's now to get the next year of rosters or whatever. Seems like it'll take some doing.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how much iteration is happening year to year, but I have friends that will always buy the next NBA 2K.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and I don't know if it's just on our end, but you sound very like staticky when you talk.
There's a sink right now. It's problems from working in a kitchen.
Oh, a sink. When you said it earlier, I thought you meant with a Y, and I was like, I must have misunderstood, like sinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Never mind. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Let that water flow. Ryan from Union City writes in. Shout out to Union City. Where the Krispy Kreme was. It's still there, apparently. Ryan went to G.A.M.E, the Games and Music Experience at Moscone Center back in 2005. G.A.M.E was GameSpot's live event. GameSpot's G.A.M.E, the Games and Music Experience, that we did in 2005. We did a few other things. There was like a GameSpot After Dark. There were 2 games and one other, and then GameSpot After Dark. I forget what it was, but we management flirted with this idea of what if we did a live event for a little while there, and it was still kind of the burgeoning years of PAX when PAX hadn't gotten off the ground, or maybe hadn't even started yet. So there was this sentiment of just like, you know what? There's a whole lot of money out there in selling kiosk space to publishers that want to show shit off. We should try to get some of that. And they tried. And it always fell upon us to put on 2 days of stage shows, basically nonstop, and fill basically like an 8-hour schedule in front of an audience that had no idea who the fuck we were, generally speaking. Because they were just like, oh, it's a video game thing. I'm going to go play games. And they were like, I don't know who these fucking idiots are here doing interviews, but I'm not going to watch them. My band played.
Cool.
At MC Chris opened for us, technically.
Really?
We had MC Chris. So, all right, I'll quickly tell this. The question about like, okay, because it's the games and music experience. So who do you get to play? And there was a music stage that was kind of going all day. Hieroglyphics actually played. on that other stage, and I didn't get to watch it because we were too busy running a dumb fucking stage show. I got my first tracksuit at this thing because we got sponsored tracksuits by Puma. And I was able, once I started wearing a tracksuit, there was no going back. And I bought some more tracksuits.
Get a little taste.
Yeah. I got it. The first hit was free. And it was all downhill from there. And so they were like, well, we have a budget for bands and stuff. It's really expensive, but we're thinking, of getting Tony Yayo.
Whoa.
Who had just had, I think Thoughts of a Predicate Felon had just come out, or maybe hadn't come out yet or whatever. So the G Unit's own Tony Yayo.
Oh shit. That would have been good Tony Yayo too.
And I was like, I'm interested in that, but I don't think that's the audience that's going to come to this thing. I don't think that they're the audience that's going to fucking go for Tony Yayo.
And it was like, before 50 Cent Blood on the Sand came out.
Exactly. Yeah.
The recognizability amongst the gamer crew would have been at an all-time low.
Yeah. So I despite very much wanting to see Tony Yayo perform live, was like, I don't think that's a great idea. And they were like, well, who would you get? And I was like, okay, who's the gaming audience fucking music performer? And I was like, you should get MC Chris.
Yeah, it's 2005. It's MC Chris.
You should get MC Chris.
Hot off his Aqua Teen fame.
Yeah, no, still kind of in the midst of it. I think
on the Aqua Teen fame. Yeah.
I think he's still on those new episodes of Aqua Teen. He's still making an appearance there.
This was pre Anamanaguchi.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when it
so
meant something.
Your options are slim.
It used to be about the music.
And so the marketing team, who was not, I don't know, they trusted me. They also wanted, I was in a band and they wanted us to play. And I was for the longest time, like, absolutely not. We are not prepared to play live. It would take a lot of work to get there. And they just kind of kept coming at me. I was like, all right, fucking fine. They paid me $0 to do it. So that fit right in their fucking budget. And so we played live. I think there's still video of that around, which was fun. It was super fun. It was like one of the 3 or 4 times we played live. And MC Chris went on before us, and he was there. He's like going to sell CDs and do all this stuff. And I don't know how they represented this event to him. But like he got there and was like, what the fuck am I like there was like a bit of shell shock, like what have I just walked into? Because it was not like there was no room at the front of the stage for people to watch the show, because we had a bunch of cameras there. We had jibs and all this other shit. And so like the jib with the crane was like taking up most of that floor space. And so it looked great online.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to watch that show, you were like 10 feet back from the stage and you were behind the jib.
Oh.
And so it was not a great live viewing experience. And so I think MC Chris went and he performed to these cameras, and like I watched it and some other people did, but it was also like later on Saturday, and other people, people were there playing games. It wasn't even, no one fucking wanted to see any of the bands play. And after that he left, and he was just fucking like, as soon as that set was gone, he was fucking gone. And then he posted an update on MySpace about the gig, and he seemed very bummed out about it. And then I was bummed out about having recommended him for the gig, because I was like, oh, that's a bummer. I don't know. I think someone at some point did not tell him what the fuck that show was going to be. And if he had been in contact with anyone on our side of things, like we certainly would say like, yeah, the cameras are going to be here. It's going to be a weird thing. It's going to be mostly for the internet, because we don't think anyone's going to watch this stage show. But I don't know. The marketing team, I don't think, filled him in on what the fuck that thing was. And so it was just a very weird situation. And I think I told him the Tony Yayo story, because in that post, he was like, man, maybe they should have just got Tony Yayo instead. And that was fucking weird. Anyway, Ryan here in Union City went to this event. Says, I'm a Bay Area native, born in Fremont. Ooh. And after moving around, now back in Union City. Man, from Fremont to the UC, you fucking living fucking big.
More like Beast Bay over there.
Yeah, that's right. You're living. The Krispy Kreme donut is still here, and so is the Jollibee next to it. Last week, Jeff mentioned G.A.M E, some weird public video game show he had to lend or donate an Xbox 360 to. Back in 2005, my dad, knowing how much I liked video games, took me to G.A.M E at Moscone Center. I think he wanted an excuse to take me to see the city. I remember it being broken up into I don't remember any of the specifics of it because all I remember is just like it was a hassle and we had to do that stage show. I remember it being broken up into specific sections, and a bunch of shit got stolen also. Not by publisher, but by genre. The urban section had 50 Cent Bulletproof, and it also had Neversoft's Gun, which is a Western themed game. There was a fighting section, but since it was 2005, I think it had a boxing game and a Dragon Ball Budokai.
Shit.
I remember a G4 booth, which weird. Okay, maybe. Yeah, sure.
Weird.
No,
timing is actually right on. Yeah. That makes sense.
It was 50%. 50 Cent Bulletproof was 2005.
Yes.
Blood on the Sand.
Blood on the Sand is way later. Yeah.
2009.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the G4 thing.
But Tony Yayo wasn't in Bulletproof, was he?
No.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
At the G4 booth, they had a giant NES controller where you could wait in line to play Super Mario 1 on it. I do remember that being like anytime G4 had a booth, they just had like, come play Mario 1 on a giant controller. Also, Kevin Pereira is here, which is apparently Kevin Pereira was there, according to this. I don't remember that at all because like we were owned by the same company for a long time because like X-Play was originally GameSpot TV. And then when we got sold off into different corporate owners, they had to change it to X-Play and they stopped using our reviews and had to hire their own team to do it and all this other stuff. I played Quake 4 on an Xbox 360, which was great because it was an Xbox 360. I think this was at the GameSpot's booth. They also had a contest where if you beat some pro PC Quake player at Quake 4 on a big stage, you won a Best Buy card or something. I remember playing Tony Hawk's American Wasteland on a screen installed on the outside door panel of a Jeep. I think they were giving the Jeep away. I don't remember where this was. My dad played Karaoke Revolution somewhere and got a Karaoke Revolution t-shirt, which he kept and wore for far longer than anyone would have thought. Yikes.
Dads love that.
I like your dad.
There's more, but I want to mention one last thing. There was a swag bag given out at the door. It included a boxed copy of The Matrix Online. Yeah, I remember that. And a soundtrack remix CD for the N-Gage game System Rush. I still have these. Do you want them? Do you know anyone who would?
You want this? Is this all just an email just to like dump swag on you? Like that's.
I have some trash. Do you want this trash?
Yeah, I love trash. I think a soundtrack remix CD for an N-Gage game is highly interesting, to be honest. But a box copy of the Matrix Online, I think I have like 3 of those because that was at a time when Sega was just like, blow these out.
Yeah, they were AOL CDs.
Yeah, it ain't working. All joking aside, I genuinely remember having fun there. I'm sure being involved in hosting it was a pain in the ass, but some attendees had a good time. I've been back to Moscone since. Some. Since I remember G.A.M E and I remember it's the same place, while GDC is more valuable in all conceivable ways, I'd still like to see someone do a demo on a screen installed on the door panel of a Jeep. That's good that someone had fun there. Yeah, we were running that show. We didn't get a ton of feedback because it wasn't like the event happened and they did a lot of local advertising for it. So it was we advertised it on GameSpot. So there were some GameSpot users that came, but by and large, like I said, it was people who were just like, I hear there's video games here. And who the fuck are you guys? So like, I remember this might've been this year. This might've been one of the different years, but there was one year that, the One Up offices were up the street. And I don't remember who did this, but like someone hit us up for free tickets. We got them in and then they fucking posted, like they talked a ton of shit about it. They were just like, oh yeah, this thing was fucking terrible. They had all this fucking, and it was like, all right, fuck you guys. What the fuck? You get fucking free tickets. Like, all right, sure. I don't think it was a great event either, but Jesus fucking Christ, assholes. I remember that coming out of that event.
My mom used to work around the area around Moscone, and then I remember her coming to me after school one day. It's like, do you want to go to this? It's a video game thing. And then I think she saw like more advertising for it. She's like, I'm not taking my son here.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Get into video games for a job?
Yeah, hope not.
To my great shame.
No, my one contribution to the like experience side of that was I told them they should have a lowrider and they should let people get in it and hit the switches.
Oh man,
that's cool.
I think how much that would have changed my life.
So I kept hammering on them about like, this is very important to let people get in and experience it themselves, or like at least sit in the car. And they're like, oh yeah, that'd be sick. By the time it actually happened, It was a dude brought a lowrider and it was all roped off and he got in it and hit the switches every half an hour or every hour or so. And it hopped up and down for a while and then he just stood around.
I mean, that's still kind of fun.
Yeah. But
No,
like, I
it's
think
not.
insurance wise, they probably couldn't make it happen.
Oh,
Have
that
to
makes
sign
sense.
waivers to get in
Yeah.
this car.
The other idea I had is like, yo, you should set me on fire. You should put me in one of those fireproof suits and then set me on fire.
Yeah.
That one didn't get very far.
Like that wax video.
Yes. But like, no, like more of a like a radiation suit kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Not like coating me in goo like the wax video. That would be cool too.
That video fucking.
If they were just like,
ruled.
hey, we're doing slow motion video recording of you on fire like that fucking wax video. I'd be like, yes,
Sign me
yes,
up.
yes.
Sign
let's do
me
this.
up.
Let's absolutely do this. All right, more Bay Area questions here. Nick in
Fantastic.
Australia writes in and says, the developers of American Truck Simulator have been updating the map around Northern California to bring it up to their current standards of map making. In the new beta, Sacramento is one of the cities that got updated. Before the update, Sacramento was a nice little area perfect for a garage. Now in the new beta, Sacramento is a dump and about as uninteresting as a city could be. Says most of you live near Sacramento. I don't think most of us have. I thought I'd ask you, is this what Sacramento is like in real life?
It's pretty. Yeah. It's trash.
Sacramento's-
It's a trash city.
Sacramento.
I'm fine saying
was
that.
there once? It's pretty unremarkable.
Yeah, it's not a great. My old roommate lived around that area. He might still live around that area, and he said that he was riding a bike on a bike path, and then someone came out of the bushes with like car parts and tried to throw them at him.
As you do.
As you
Yeah.
do.
In Sacramento.
Yeah.
I recently watched a true crime thing about a serial killer landlord that was in Sacramento in 1988, and it was a little old lady.
Is there slot machines involved?
No,
Damn.
nah, just murder. Just like 7 bodies in the backyard, just murdering people.
The wedding I went to over the weekend was near
Murder?
Sac. No, was near Sac. I had a terrible time driving there and driving back.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
not really part of the Bay Area.
It is not part of the Bay Area.
It's not part of the Bay Area.
So 4 out of 4 would not recommend.
All right. Here's the likelihood and here's the qualifications to wind up in the Bay Area. If you are at a rap show in I don't know, Vallejo, Fremont, San Francisco, Oakland, perhaps even San Mateo, and there is a small likelihood of that said hip hop act bringing out E40. San Jose, this has happened. So a hip hop act will bring out E40, ambassador of the Bay, then that qualifies as the Bay Area. You go to a show in Sac, E40's not coming out to Sac, not even for the paycheck.
No,
San Jose's Bay for sure, right?
South Bay.
Yeah,
It's like the tip, right? You can't go.
yeah.
I'll take a tip.
If you're from Saratoga, nah, dog, get out of here.
Come on.
Okay. Good to
You
know.
know, E40 would play in Petaluma pretty often.
Yeah.
And it was always a thrill because E40 would often talk about being from the 707, and I could go like, so am I. I was on Magazine Street once. It was not particularly nice. Dom from Fort Collins writes in and says, we all know canonically Mario is a plumber, but is he really? We're told he is, but nobody in the games requests his plumbing services. Does anyone ever mention him being a plumber in the game or remark on his work? We have more evidence of Mario being a doctor, so maybe it's time we put some more respect on his name?
Well, if he wants to be called Dr. Super Mario all the time, that's his choice.
He doesn't want to be called Mario at all.
Yeah.
It's not his name.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen him get associated with plungers and shit at some point. Maybe just in like dialogue. Where like some crafty Boo or Koopa's like, oh, you know a lot about that because you got plungers in your field or something like that. But you're right. Aside from being a chronic pipe dweller,
Yeah.
he is unrelated to the plumbing field.
I don't know.
In
y'all.
every
Chronic
way.
pipes, that Mario.
This is why Super Mario Brothers movie 1993 is canon, because there is canonical plumbing that happens in that movie. It is more intertwined with his character arc.
Well,
Or-
I mean,
vis-a-vis his occupation than anything in the video games. He
well,
does
that's the
plumbing.
thing. in your video that you did, it's so funny and it's so obvious that the writers and producers of that movie had literally nothing to work with. Where they were just like, all we know is that
he's a plumber, right?
He's a plumber and he jumps on shit, and that's literally it. And we have to form a narrative around those very few plot points. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's the original Mario Brothers, not even Super Mario Brothers, where they go that route, because that's where there suddenly were pipes and there are monsters coming out of the pipes and all that sort of stuff. And so that's when the plumber transition happened, as far as I know, because prior to that, much like Jesus Christ, Mario was a carpenter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for that, he was a jump man.
Yes, exactly. Just a damn jump man.
I have an extinct career now.
Yeah.
And we're not even sure what jump men did, historically speaking.
Yeah, they either climb up buildings to save girls, or they collect bombs. Those are the only two things that a jump man has ever done. And
that's what archaeologists believe about the career of jump man.
But the Carpenter days, I feel like the original cartoon that they did, the Donkey Kong cartoon, the Carpenter stuff, I think it was lightly represented there. And I remember getting books and licensed stuff from around that time, like the Donkey Kong activity book. This is very much like they had renamed it to Mario at that point. Oh no, maybe it was still Jumpman. I think there was an overlap there where they started calling him Mario instead of Jumpman, but they were still repping that he was Carpenter. I think by the time that cartoon came out, he was Mario,
Mr. Jumpman.
Yeah, Mario Jumpman. That'd be so much better if they just like acknowledged it that way and said like, his name's Mario Jumpman.
We're stuck with Mario now.
Yeah, all this Mario stuff is so...
We're stuck now.
Yeah, that was, again, that movie overflowing with evidence of nothing to work with.
Yeah.
Just like...
And they did great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The song Jumpman, perhaps some of Future's best work.
It's no move that dope.
Yeah. That was like peak Future era.
Yeah, that's it. That's yeah.
Man.
When Future had a future, it was when that stuff was coming out.
That guy needs help.
Yeah.
It's all a cry for help.
Yeah. Hans from Sweden. Wait.
No way.
Just think of Ness from Earthbound and you will pronounce it correctly. So wait.
What?
Earthbound doesn't have voice acting though.
Ness from Earthbound, so it says Hans here, but he says think of Ness when you pronounce it. I don't know how to put that together. Anyway, the question.
Hess.
Sure, maybe it's Hess. I'm playing through Forbidden West at the moment. That's Horizon Forbidden West, and I really feel like the use of the DualSense is disappointing. In games like Returnal and Astro's Playroom, it's the small details that make the controller feel amazing, like the feeling of the raindrops on controllers or walking on different surfaces, and Horizon does none of that. Do you think this is a decision based on longer playtimes, meaning the constant vibrations would get annoying? Or is it to conserve the controller's battery? Or is it not a decision and this is just the best they could do? I agree that I think Gran Turismo is decent, but it is not a wow, blow you away kind of thing the way Returnal and Astro were.
Yeah, I was looking forward to a bright future of super creative haptic implementation. And I'm not saying that that's over and we're not going to get that. But if we're talking about the exclusives that you would think would have that, I think Forbidden West falls on the disappointing side.
Yeah.
And I don't know, perhaps it wasn't as big of a consideration. Perhaps I don't think there are reasons to necessarily not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, what do I know?
It was perhaps lower priority. Or something like that. A bigger fish to fry. Maybe the target demographic is not gonna even notice that they did that.
I don't know.
Haptics, stuff. I don't know.
I feel like some of the bow haptics were okay, but probably could have been better.
Yeah, I don't remember them being bad. I just don't.
It's just they're not it's not like a next level.
Fancy.
Like, oh my god, look at
right.
that. There's some stuff in Gran Turismo 7 where you do feel like, oh, okay, this is like a next level of feedback, but it didn't happen as frequently as Returnal or Astro. I thought when Call of Duty came out and they put resistance on the trigger like it was a real gun, is an interesting idea that I think actually just gets in the way of the gameplay so much.
I hated that. Turned it off right away. Yeah,
it was cool for the campaign, bad for multiplayer. Right. But yeah, That stuff's, and third parties are never going to take advantage of that stuff the way you want them to, because they're like, fuck, we got to make 3 other versions of this game. We're not going to go out of our way to do a bunch of cool controller stuff for this one version. Who has the time?
Sure.
And so they didn't. Justin from the UK writes in and says, memories of Kingdom Hearts 4. On a recent show, you mentioned the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game and wondered if it would connect to Kingdom Hearts 4. It already does, as the game is basically Kairi reviewing her memories of the previous games in an attempt to find out where Sora has gone. I always remember one scene at the end of that game where all the Kingdom Hearts characters are standing around discussing what they've learned, and the fairy godmother from Cinderella shows up. The other characters then all look awkward, as if they've only just remembered that this series is supposed to have Disney characters in it, and they should be involved in the main plot.
Fantastic.
Regards.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I guess I have to finish that game now.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to understand anything that's going on, obviously. Okay. A few more emails here. This is our one crime email of the week.
Oh, nice. Fill that quota, baby.
Yeah. Isaac from Japan writes in
Ooh.
and says, with all the criminal stories lately, I thought I'd share one that happened to my friend. Back in the early 2000s, my friend started working at Best Buy in Indiana.
Already
everyone that worked there would steal stuff. If they wanted something, they would take it to the back where there were no cameras and then pocket it. My buddy wanted a TV, so he asked his manager if he could get one, and the manager turned off the cameras at the end of the day so that he could take one out to his car. Everyone was in on it.
No.
What, the manager? Yo.
No.
Yeah.
Shut
A TV?
the fuck up.
A TV.
TV can't just go missing like that.
This is like,
Weird.
I'm like reading this and going like, man, maybe I should fucking get a side job at Best Buy for a little bit and just come up and then vanish. I had some friends who got like short time Costco jobs specifically because they were just like, yo, we are fucking moving shit out the back nonstop.
Yo.
Yeah.
I'm
hosting a huge party. I got to work here for a few months.
Yeah, and
Trader Joe's employees do that.
For real?
100%. They will steal the meat because it's better quality meat than you'll get at a normal grocery store. They'll steal the meat.
I'm always a little let down with Trader Joe meat. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go to
you live in the land
butcher.
of delis. You got all your gabagool, all this shit. I'm sure
It's
you're like
true. We do.
Yeah.
It grows on trees here.
Yeah, I mean out here we got delis, but not like
My mom
Trader
never.
Joe's
Yeah,
is
my
a
mom
pretty
never
good
gets
option.
meat at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Got like 10 other places.
Yeah.
That are better.
Cheeses, on the other hand, please.
Okay.
All day. Love those cheese selections.
But wait, there's more. He continued working there for years and then transferred to a Best Buy in Chicago where they were also stealing everything. Then he transferred to a Florida Best Buy where he was made manager. He was finally caught when his friend, who did not work there, wanted to get in on it. The guy working there took a brand new computer off the rack, put an RMA sticker on it, and stuck it in with the refurbished computers for people to come pick up. The friend came in and the Geek Squad people were like, who are you? Where did this computer come from? The guy just had to leave the store with nothing, and the employee was eventually figured out and fired. He stole thousands of dollars of stuff over like 10 years, and he wasn't prosecuted or anything, just fired.
You know,
wow.
so like I
This
didn't
is a Robin Hood story.
Yeah.
I didn't work that much in retail. I worked at a pharmacy for a while, which I guess is not technical. I don't know if it falls under retail, but
You're pushing.
I've heard stories like this so many times,
totally,
which leads me to believe that just like the cost of like that is just a line item for these mega corporate, like you just bake this into your P&L at some point.
I think it's just funnier that like for all the fucking anti-theft devices that get strapped to stuff that like, yo, the fucking call is coming from inside the house. Like, like it's not, it's not me walking in, taking a set of keys to, Jim, I'm going to take this USB stick and that it's just internal action. He says it seems like something out of a gangster film. I just remember giving him like $100 and him getting me a brand new iPod Touch back when those were like new.
Oh man.
I just had a story told to me over the weekend about a buddy of mine whose best friend in high school worked at a GameStop or EB, whatever. And the friend would go in, he would buy like some shitty used game, just something that could go in a bag. Right. And he would get so they would give the game to the cashier, his friend.
Yeah.
To do the transaction, he'd pay $3.99 for like, Wipeout on PlayStation 1. and get his bag back, and it had like 4 new games in it, right? And they would just like walk out the door, and that was their scheme, and they did it for months and months. And
Nice.
Sure.
I guess that's how you could have done it. It was the Wild West for a little while.
Yeah, the movie theater way, the movie theater scam scheme, at least one that I never engaged. I worked at a movie theater for a month or something. It wasn't like, it was like, you know, it was dumb. But like, so that was back when you had to tear tickets, and you would, maybe you still do, I don't know. You tear a ticket, you give them their half of the ticket, and the other half goes in something that says, hey, this is how many people came in. So if the auditors from the movie companies came in to count how many people were in the theater and how many tickets you sold, like they wanted those numbers to be accurate or you were fucked. But what people did, because the auditors almost never came, is
I've never seen an auditor at a movie theater. Whole life.
yeah,
We're here to check the books.
yeah, you don't
Like
see
they
them.
just come into the thing.
Yeah,
and
they show up and they'll count. I don't know if they still do this because now
Yeah,
it's all
I can't
digital
imagine that's still a
and
thing,
reserved
yeah.
seatings, but you know, this is the 90s.
Yeah.
So you tear that ticket, you give the first customer half the ticket, you don't put the other half in the thing, you palm it, and then when the next person who comes in to buy a ticket for that movie, you give them the other half, and then you take that cash from them and pocket it. And so you're just like, for every one ticket sold, you're taking, you know, almost half the money in some cases, is what people would do. Then you can get it. There was other grimy shit, like, you know, they kept track of popcorn sales by the number of bags they had left. And so there would be situations where you're like, and this is where like super fucking foul and almost maybe not buy a popcorn ever again, where like some people that were fucking really fucking grimy would find good looking popcorn bags in the theater after showing, hang on to them, refill those, and then pocket the popcorn sales.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's a different form.
Like giving someone a used bag
Nice.
is some fucking real.
That's some low shit. Yeah.
That's low.
That's some risk reward right there.
Yeah. That's,
Biologically.
pretty fucking rough.
I used to do something similar at the cupcake shop, but it was just with stamp cards. I just take the free cupcake stamps and just give them to friends.
Victimless crime.
Let's say, you know, who's not doing that? That's why Subway probably did away with all that stuff, right? I mean, everyone uses apps now, but like, I remember when the Subway stamp cards, they were like, these are expiring soon. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? I've got like 4 half-filled cards sitting on my desk. I got to find those fucking things.
Oh man, I recently found these, but when I was a PA at a job, and I would be in charge of lunch, I would purposely ask and order food at places with a stamp card or a reward system, and I would just make I would just create it in my name or just get the stamp cards. So there was solid weeks where I just eat for free because, like, yeah, y'all want sandwiches? I got sandwich cards.
Nice.
I mean, that's like, you know, anytime I buy anything for the company, it's on my personal credit card and I'm getting reward points for it. Points, baby. I'm the new points guy. Fuck the points guy. It's me. And they were like, yeah, they really wanted you to use the corporate credit cards for travel, but the corporate credit card was so cumbersome to use and get reimbursed that I never fucking used it. And I just used my own card. So like, there'd be holidays. There were situations where I had to go buy like fucking 5 TVs and 4 consoles and all other shit. And it was just like, and it would all get paid off the next month. No interest on my part. And so like, it was just stacking up reward points for planes and TVs and games and all this other shit. It was cool.
Look,
find yourself at the end of the year going like,
everyone did crime. Everyone used to do crime.
$700 worth of fucking credit card reward points here. That's
nice.
Crime. Make crime legal. That's what I say.
That's not crime. That is the least that the company can do for me having good credit.
It's true.
They owe me at least that for floating that on that stuff. All right, let's see. A couple more here. Matthew from Phoenix. With the current box office success of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and the recent announcement of a possible Streets of Rage movie, I couldn't be more excited, but I can give 2 shits about Sonic 3 or Streets of Rage. I just hope this trend of adapting video games to film and television continues. We just got Uncharted and Super Mario was in development, BioShock, Tomb Raider, Mega Man, Gears of War, etc. I just want this momentum to continue so that we can finally get the Contra movie we all deserve.
I mean, There was a Contra movie somewhere there in the 80s.
It's called
if you think hard
Commando.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say
you got that.
It already exists.
Come on.
Yeah.
Based off of it.
I think I'll be honest. If we're trying to have a borderline serious conversation about this, I think the way The Last of Us shakes out on HBO will be a very pivotal moment for the adaptation of video games. I also think it's probably, save for maybe BioShock, got like the strongest source material.
Like that's a narrative. That story is movie ready in a lot of ways. In ways that almost are television show ready. In ways that almost makes you think like, why bother doing it? But I guess you got to bring it to people who didn't play the game. Might as well.
Plenty of people who are their first connection to that will be this. So.
Yeah. And then there's that Twisted Metal thing too,
right?
Which seems like on the surface that sounds like a terrible idea, but I don't know. And then he says, are there any video game franchises that you would like to see adapted to film or TV? I don't know.
I used to think Silent Hill, but then they made the movies. I'm like, man, never mind.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Well, it's a different era now. I mean, some of this stuff is actually getting to be pretty decent. I don't remember anyone saying anything. I don't remember anyone having really strong opinions about the Uncharted movie.
It was okay.
I feel like that's the nicest thing I've heard about it. People are like, I don't know. It's all right.
I don't like Mark Wahlberg for reasons. But hey, Tom Holland was charming in that. They mentioned the Philippines a bunch and it was kind of anti-imperialism. So that was cool.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch that movie one of these days. I just don't. That's another one on the surface where you're just like, dog, that game is just like your budget Indiana Jones. Like you're turning it back into a movie like that. We got those already. The same reason why a Contra movie doesn't make a ton of sense in terms of just like those were based on movies already. I mean, not directly, but like
every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is that. Yeah.
If you just want a movie where there's two Arnolds, I guess like we didn't necessarily get that, but
I got it. Let's make a Tony Hawk Pro Skater movie.
Totally.
What that is? Who knows?
I think that's a skate video where people are fucking trying to fucking do big air and grab VHS tapes out of the sky.
Fantastic.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Airborne. You're the chosen one, the one who must skate and collect.
This can help bring Bam back.
You see all these letters floating?
Fish out of water story somehow.
Yeah.
I got teleported to a video game world where I have to skate.
Yeah. Speaking of skating, a bunch of additional Skate 4 footage or screenshots and details kind of leaked out over the last week. This is all pretty much on par with some footage that I saw a couple of months ago, and it looks a little rough, but also like the basics of it look like they're in place. Like obviously it's not, it's a very early version of the game, so it's not polished up or anything like that, but like it looks okay. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Anyway. Josh in Colorado with our last email. What's the stupidest injury you've had? And then he goes on. 10 years ago, I dislocated my knee at an anime convention while dressed up as a sim. I was trying to do the pee dance and lost my balance. It still bothers me occasionally, and I'll probably be reminded of it forever.
I scraped my knee twice, 2 years in a row at the theme park or the water park that we got to go to if you were an altar server. Yep.
Yeah.
Same knee, 2 years in a row.
Wow.
I drunkenly stepped off a curb one 4th of July and fucking went down like a fucking heap. And my fucking knee, the side of my knee hurt for and then I went and got a brace that probably actually made it worse in retrospect. But it was like my knee hurt for probably about 3 months after that. That was pretty dumb. But my dumbest was definitely jumping off the stage at PAX. There was a pillow down below, and I was like, I'm gonna jump off and land on this pillow, on my feet. I'm not gonna and just walk over here. And so I jumped off, landed on the pillow. The pillow, of course, is a pillow, so it zipped out from underneath me, and I fell right on my fucking tailbone. And that hurt that hurt steady for probably 3 months, but that actually hurt off and on for probably about 3 years.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
That fucking sucked. And also, it was right after our panel had concluded, so it was a room full of fucking people that were coming up to like take pictures and do all this other stuff. So I had to immediately be like, "All right, this doesn't hurt. I'm fine. All right, let's go."
Red and sweating.
Hey.
And
Yeah, it was. It fucking that fucking sucked. And then getting on a plane like 2 days after that, and I'm like, my ass, my ass.
I also drunkenly stepped off a patio and rolled my foot so bad with all my body weight on it. And I think I broke my foot and I just never got it checked out because it hurt for like 2 months. I was limping for like a solid month and it still hurt for like 2 months. My partner, dumbest way he's gotten injured is I was flirting with him and I tickled him. And he got such a horrific cramp that he like threw his back out and his neck out from me tickling him. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with your body, dog? Like, this doesn't happen to people.
That's a keeper.
Yeah.
And you stuck around. You weren't like, I gotta go.
I ruined your life. Bye.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is where you send those.
Oh, sorry. I had a scar on my forearm for a while from a Beyblade.
Oh, fucking sick.
That's worth it.
That's good. I had a scar on the side of my face for a while because I had an airsoft gun and I thought it was empty and I was gonna jokingly fire it into my mouth, but then I took it out of my mouth at the last minute and the fucking ball just scraped up the side of my face and just burned off a little bit of skin on its way through. And it's a good thing I did not fire it into my mouth. That probably would have fucking sucked.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
That would have been like surgery at least.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
Mistakes were avoided.
Jesus.
Mistakes were mistakes were made, but worse mistakes were avoided.
I guess,
And,
Yikes.
Don't do that.
Wow.
Don't fucking do that. Gun safety, even with fake guns, turns out valuable.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Could you have died? Like,
well, so if you think about it, that would be a tiny plastic pellet firing at a pretty high velocity that, like, up close can break the skin. I mean, when it hits you, I mean, obviously it did. I did bleed a little bit. Could that have like gone through my palate?
Would not have been good.
Yeah.
It would not have been fucking good.
Yeah. I don't know if you could have, like, I don't wondering
know.
about the lethality of such a potential injury.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
would it have rattled around in
YouTuber.
my mouth and like fucking gone in my throat? Would have hit a tooth? Like there's
just no good and no good
variety
options.
of fucking bad outcomes.
Oh, yeah.
there, that would have been like
I'm sure some crafty YouTuber has already lived or not to tell the tale. So.
Yeah. Real
slow-mo
fucking,
guys shooting
real
themselves in the
journalist out
mouth.
there.
real fucking dumb, just like absent-minded fucking sitting there watching TV, drinking, sort of thing. That like narrowly avoided probably a significantly worse outcome. And it did fucking hurt. It was like a bad arm burn, but like enough to draw blood and on the side of my face is how that went. Yeah.
Yikes.
Damn.
Oh.
Yep.
Glad you're still with us.
Yeah, that would have been a good way to go.
Oh my God.
That would have been a fucking fascinating way to go if it had gone.
The obituary.
Yeah, right? Dumb fuck shoots self in mouth with fake gun, dies anyway. Sure.
Dies anyway is the real kicker.
Like, I would have deserved, like, honestly, like, you know, if I would have seen that somehow in some kind of afterlife, you probably got to look at that and go like, yep, yeah, I deserve that. That's what fucking happened. That's some shit I shouldn't have fucking done. That's fucking, that's
the right punishment would be like you leading some sort of PSA school to school tour of like what not to do with an airsoft gun.
Danger of fake weapons. Yeah,
you've got like a hole clear through the back of your throat, but like you lived.
Right. Yeah.
Because it does soft, it can still hurt.
It's like I've got the voice box or whatever. You know. The all right, and now.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, now what we want to do is don't shoot yourself with the fake guns. But also the real guns, but also the fake guns.
Oh, God.
All right. That's it for the podcast. We'll be back next week with more of this, and we'll be back on Thursday with the dump truck. If you like hearing fucking stupid stories about dumb shit we did, that podcast is probably a little more your speed.
Yeah.
So call 707 exit flu and call us and talk about the time you almost fucking died. All right. See you next week. Bye.
I'm a honey mustard man. I'm a honey mustard man. I'm a honey mustard man.
I could sell water to a well.